Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Welcome to another live Uma Matters. Long time. I think last time was a week ago when I was on. So we have a new topic. There's a topic I actually asked a few brothers about the other day, and I thought I share the knowledge I got about this topic that was shared to me. Um, so the question was, when not just elderlies, but some people might forget what's Rakadarin, or might forget something while they're praying. It could be due to age. It could be due to their memory, short-term memory, or medicine they're taking, or whichever. But I'm not sure if anyone has ever forgotten what Rakuda in, or when they're doing sajda, or stuff like that. So I asked someone if they had any sort of information um, for people who prostrate um, and forget what rakah they're in, or how many sajdas they've done, or this and that. What do they do, or what should you do? So he gave me an answer of Sujud al-Saw. And are you guys familiar with this? And if anybody's familiar with this, type of one, or so he sent me a video along with it. So I was gonna play this video. It's about it's a pretty long video, but if anybody's interested in discussing it on that, that'd be a good thing as well. Walaikum Salam, Bird Nest. So let me go ahead and start playing this video. And this is how to perform Sujud al Saw. Hopefully this benefits everyone, inshallah, on what they need to do and how they need to Burnett, would you be interested in knowing how to perform Sujud al Saw? Or do you know what Sujud al Saw is? Well, anyways, I'm going to play this, guys, and mm, I enjoy watching these guys. It's very educational. This one is this one right here is a video of Ustadh Muhammad Tim. And he explains the first part of the chapter of Sujud Asal and other matters like the book of prayer, including the introduction to chapter of Sujud Asal and the ruling of when to make Sujud Asal. Um, so this is from Kalima channel. And this is Ustad Muhammad Tim explaining this. So let's go and watch this. and get some knowledge. We didn't know about this yet. Inshallah. Here we go. Here we go.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على عبد الله ورسوله نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. So inshallah ta'ala we're going to start a brand new chapter in Kitab al-Salah from the book Bulugh al-Maram by Imam al-Hafiz Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani rahimahullah ta'ala, and that is Babu Sujud al-Sahwi wa ghayrih, the chapter of Sujud al-Sahw. Now I think we all know what Sujud is. Sujud is what we call a sajda or a sujud, a prostration, where we put our forehead and our two hands and our two knees and our 2 feet, or at least the edges of them, on the ground. And Sujud as-Sahw is a particular kind of sajda which is legislated when a person falls into a sahw. And a sahw, it is to forget, forgetfulness, or it means al-ghafla, yani being unaware of something, like not paying attention. So it can mean forgetfulness, and it can mean not paying attention. So Sujud al-Sahw is a sajda which is legislated in certain circumstances when you forget a part of the prayer, or when you are unaware that you made a mistake in the prayer. And you can add a third circumstance to that, which is when you have doubt in the prayer. Certain types of doubt also, Sujud al-Sahw is legislated for them. And Al-Hafiz ibn Hajar, in this chapter, he opened the chapter Babu Sujud al-Sahwi wa ghayrihi, the chapter of Sujud al-Sahw and other types of sujud. Because there are other types of sujud. For example, Sujud al-Tilawa, the sajda when you come to a particular place in an ayah of the Quran and you're either actively listening or reciting. And there is, for example, Sujud al-Shukr, the sajda that you make by means of thanking Allah Azza wa Jal for a particular grace or a particular amazing thing that happened to you. So you make sajda to shukr. So there are other types of sujud that are legislated. However, the one that is, or the two that are particularly of concern to us are in the salah is Sujud al-Sahw, the prayer for the prostration for forgetfulness, and Sujud al-Tilawa, because in the salah we might recite a part of the Quran that has a place of sajda, and we might likewise make forget or make a mistake in our prayer. And the majority of our discussion in this chapter is going to be on the topic of Sujud al-Sahw. Now, I wanted to begin by giving you an overview before we get into the hadith, because in my opinion, Sujud al-Sahw is one of those areas where lots and lots of people don't know what to do, and lots of people make mistakes, especially when we come to talk about Sujud al-Sahw behind the Imam. So let's first of all, and this is outside of Bulugh al-Maram, let's just take a little bit of time, could be 20 minutes, could be half an hour, to just give ourselves a bird's eye overview of Sujud al-Sahw. So the first thing that we need to do is to define what Sujud al-Sahw actually is. Like, how do you perform it to begin with? And it's performed by praying 2 prostrations. So not one, not just one time, but twice. Exactly as you would perform them in a rak'ah of the prayer. And this is important. Exactly as you would perform them in a normal rak'ah of the prayer. In other words, you will say Allahu Akbar and go into sujood. And you will say Subhana Rabbi al-A'la, Subhana Rabbi al-A'la, Subhana Rabbi al-A'la. And you can make dua if you wish. Then you will sit up as you would do exactly in the normal part of the prayer. And then you will make your sajda again with the takbir, Allahu Akbar, exactly as you would in the normal part of the prayer. And you will say Subhana Rabbi al-A'la, Subhana Rabbi al-A'la, Subhana Rabbi al-A'la. And then you may make dua if you wish. So we've understood that Sujud al-Sahw is exactly as the sujood is in the prayer. It's 2 sajdas, 2 prostrations. The dua is the same, the dhikr is the same, the way you perform it is the same parts of the body are on the ground. Everything about it is the same. And there are 2 places, or how should we say it? 2 places in the prayer where you can perform Sujud al-Sahw. Before the salam or after the salam. Before the salam means you make your tashahhud. At-tahiyyatu lillahi was-salawatu wat-tayyibat. Assalamu alayka ayyuhan nabiyyu wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Until the end of the tashahhud. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad. Kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min adhabi jahannam wa min adhabi al-qabr. وَمِن فِتْنَةِ الْمَحْيَا وَالْمَمَاتِ وَمِن شَرِّ فِتْنَةِ الْمَسِيحِ الدَّجَّالِ, until you finish your tashahhud. And then you say Allahu Akbar, Subhana Rabbi al-A'la 3 times. You sit up, you go down again, Allahu Akbar, Subhana Rabbi al-A'la again 3 times. You sit up, and then you say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. This is before the salam. This is before the salam. You do your tashahhud completely, then you make 2 prostrations extra, then you sit and you make salam to both sides. This is before the salam. As for after the salam, you do your tashahhud and you say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Then you say Allahu Akbar, you make your sujood exactly as you would in the prayer. You sit up, again you go down into sujood, you sit up and you make another salam. And you make a second taslim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. And according to some of the scholars, you repeat the tashahhud as well. But we're going to come to this inside of Bulugh al-Maram. And in general, I'm going to say to you, you don't, because the majority of the scholars say that you don't repeat the tashahhud, you only make 2 sajda and Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. But when we come to Bulugh al-Maram, you will see that there are some of the scholars who hold the opinion that you make the tashahhud twice. Once with the first salam and once with the second salam. But we're going to say this is not the strongest opinion. And the strongest opinion is that you only make the tashahhud before the first salam. You do your 2 prostrations, then you make another salam at the end. And the scholars have general agreement, to the best of my knowledge. I don't know of, as far as I know, in all of the 4 madhahib, they have agreement that whether you do it before the salam or after the salam, your prayer is valid. But they disagree over which one is the right way to do when, if that makes sense. So they disagree, should it be before or should it be after? for whichever reason. However, they have agreement among themselves that if you made a mistake and did something that should be before the salam, after the salam, it doesn't matter. Your prayer is still valid. And likewise, if you made a mistake and you did the one that was supposed to be after the salam, before the salam, likewise, your prayer is valid. So the discussion about before versus after is a discussion of preference, not a discussion of that it invalidates your prayer. It's a discussion of whether it's the right thing, which one is the right thing to do. And the opinions vary tremendously, down from those scholars who say that the general principle is that it's before the salam, and those scholars who say it's before the salam, except in very rare cases, and those who have a formula as to whether it is before the salam or after the salam. And in order to understand the opinion that I'm going to give you, and this is a flow chart, I've got it in English, but I lost it temporarily, so I have to find it for you next week, because the website that put it up there in English has taken it down, and I don't know, I have to dig the copy out of my PC somewhere. But I have it in Arabic here, and it's originally done by Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen, rahimahullah ta'ala, and the Sheikh provided, or his students from his work, provided a nice flow chart as to whether you do it before the salam and after the salam and what other things you have to do. But before we get into that discussion, it's really important that everyone understands that Sujud al-Sahw is legislated for two things, broadly. Or we could say even three, but what's important to understand is it's not legislated for missing a sunnah. So if you miss out a sunnah, Sujud al-Sahw isn't legislated. And it's not something that is allowed to do because you missed out a sunnah. So for example, a person forgets to say Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik, Dua al-Istiftah. Is Dua al-Istiftah sunnah or wajib? We said it is sunnah. Therefore, there is no Sujud al-Sahw in this. A person forgets to say A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. The scholars differed over this. Generally, we said that if we take the opinion that saying A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim is a sunnah, or we take the opinion that saying it one time in the prayer is enough, then again there is no Sujud al-Sahw for missing this out. A person says Subhan Rabbi al-A'la, no Sujud al-Sahw, because one time is the minimum and three is the sunnah, or more than three, and so on. So we have to understand there is no Sujud al-Sahw for the sunnah actions. You forgot to point your finger in the tashahhud. There is no Sujud al-Sahw for this, because it's sunnah. Where there is Sujud al-Sahw are in the pillars of the prayer and the obligations of the prayer. And you can add doubt as a third thing. Doubt is really a totally separate issue. Doubt, put it on the side. But where we have to be concerned are the pillars of the prayer and the wajibat of the prayer. And what does it mean, the pillars and the wajibat? We've covered this before, but we just want to recap because it's really important to understand Sujud al-Sahw. You have to understand the pillars of the prayer and the obligations of the prayer. So the pillars of the prayer are those things that if you miss them out, your prayer would be invalid. Such as standing while you have the ability, Takbiratul Ihram, saying Allahu Akbar at the beginning of the prayer, reading Surah Al-Fatiha in every rak'ah, Ar-Ruku' as a position, not what you say, but just generally being in the position of Ruku', standing up from Ruku', making sujood on the 7 parts of the body that we spoke about, sitting up from the sujood, sitting between the 2 sajdas, having tranquility and stillness in each of your positions. The last tashahhud, sending salah upon the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, and doing everything in order. These are the ones Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen mentioned. And there is some disagreement in some of them, like Surah Al-Fatiha and others. But generally, these are the ones that Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen mentioned are the pillars. As for the wajibat, the obligations, they are the ones that if you miss them out, they don't make your prayer invalid, but you have to make up for them with Sujud al-Sahw. And they are all of the takbirat apart from takbirat al-ihram. That means every time that you say Allahu Akbar, apart from the first time, which is a pillar, all the rest are wajibat, obligations. So when you go into ruku', saying Allahu Akbar, saying Sami Allahu liman hamida when you stand up from the ruku', saying Rabbana wa lakal hamd, saying Rabbi ghfirli in between the two sajdas, saying Subhana Rabbi al-Azim in ruku', Subhana Rabbi al-A'la in sujud at least once, and the first tashahhud. So when we say the first tashahhud, we mean the one where you sit in the middle and then you stand up and you keep praying. Okay? So that's the difference between the pillars and the obligations. What's the key difference here? When you miss an obligation, you don't go back and repeat it. All you do is finish your prayer, and there's some conditions to that we'll talk about later, but you finish your prayer and you make Sujud al-Sahw. As for the pillar, you have to make it up somehow. So you have to repeat the rak'ah, or in certain circumstances, you can go back to the pillar. There are different situations, we'll talk about them. But the key thing is, you cannot leave without that pillar. You can't just go home and say, oh, I missed it this time, inshallah, next time I'll do ruku'. No, you missed ruku', yani you cannot go home and just say, oh, next time I'll do it. As for the wajibat, yes, you can go home and say, next time I'll remember to sit for the first tashahhud. Next time I'll remember to say, Subhana Rabbi al-Azim. But as for saying, I forgot to make sajda, you can't go home and say, I forgot to make sajda. You have to make that sajda up. Either you repeat the rak'ah, or in certain circumstances, you can go back, depending on where you are in your prayer. That being said, many of the scholars divide Sujud al-Sahw, including Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen, into three different situations. The first one is a situation where you added something into the prayer. You prayed an extra rak'ah. Or you prayed an extra sajda. Or you did an extra ruku', or an extra sitting when you weren't supposed to sit. You added something in. And the situation here is one of two situations. If you didn't realize that you added something until you had finished adding it. Okay, so for example, let's just say that you added an extra sajda, and you didn't realize that you had added that sajda until you had made it. In this case, what you have to do is to simply make Sujud al-Sahw after the salam. Sujud al-Sahw after the salam. So this is a situation where you have added something and you haven't realized until it's done. The other situation here in the same topic is when you realize in the middle. And in this case, you must return back to your original, yani what is correct. So in the middle of standing up, you realize that you're standing up for your 5th rak'ah. You must return back to your place, even if you are in the middle of standing or whatever. And if you realized that you've added something and you're in the middle of doing it and you've realized I shouldn't be doing this, you don't complete your sujood or complete your qiyam and finish all of your actions. You go immediately back to where you should be. So let's give an example here. You're praying dhuhr, you're in your 4th rak'ah, you do your tashahhud, and then you stand up. While you're standing up, you realize that this is my 5th rak'ah, I've done this wrong. Immediately you sit back down. You don't wait for you to finish the rak'ah and read Fatiha and read another surah and then make ruku' and then come up from ruku'. No, you just go immediately back down to where you were. And likewise, if you're following the imam and the imam adds something into the prayer and you know that he's added it, it's haram for you to follow him. So for example, the imam stands up for the 5th rak'ah and you know that it's the 5th rak'ah. It's wajib for you to stay sitting down in the position of the tashahhud until the imam comes back. If you're certain that he's added something. If you're not certain, you follow him. But if you're certain that the imam has added something, you must go back. You must not go with him. You must not go with him. He may not be certain. So he may pray a full rak'ah, 5th rak'ah. Because he doesn't think it's the 5th rak'ah. He thinks it's the 4th one. And the people are saying subhanallah, but he doesn't believe them in. He thinks it's the 4th one. But still, if you are certain the imam is praying 1 rak'ah too many, you must sit. And you mustn't follow him. And likewise, the imam has to come back as soon as he realizes, he hears subhanallah, subhanallah, and he realizes he's praying his 5th rak'ah, he has to come back. And the sujood as-sahw is after the salam. So in both of those cases, the sujood as-sahw is after the salam. So let's go again. We said adding something into the prayer. We said the first kind of adding something is adding an extra rak'ah or an extra sitting or an extra sajda or an extra ruku'. And there are two situations. Either you remember in the middle, in which case you go back to your original position and you make sujood as-sahw after the salam, or you don't realize in the middle. Like you just finish and someone says to you after the salah, brother, you prayed 5 rak'ah. Again, the sujood as-sahw is after the salam. There's one more kind of addition. And that is if you make the salam before you finish the prayer and you make the salam too early. Now someone may say, how is that an addition? Isn't that leaving something out? But what they mean by this is you made an additional salam. And you made a salam that wasn't supposed to be made. And the reason they say that is that they say that you are still in a state of salah because you haven't finished your salah. You're still actually in a state of prayer. But what happened is you gave the salam too early. So you added a salam that shouldn't be there. This again has two circumstances. If a long time passes before you realize that you made the prayer too short, you must pray the whole prayer again. And there's no sujood as-sahw in this instance. So for example, you prayed 2 rak'ah, you went out of the masjid, or you started praying your sunnah prayer. You went out of the masjid, or you started praying your sunnah prayer, or you broke your wudu, or you went like out shopping and you came back and then you thought, subhanallah, I only prayed 2 rak'ah for asr. In this case, you have to pray again, and there is no sujood sahw in the new prayer. The first prayer is invalid and you pray again. If the time is short, for example, you're still in the masjid, sitting down, you've just sat for a few moments, and someone says to the imam, you only prayed 2 rak'ah, or you just moved a little bit to the side, and someone says to the imam that you just prayed 2 rak'ah, or you just started to get up, and someone says to the imam that you've only prayed 2 rak'ah. In this case, you may continue your prayer from where you left off. You may continue your prayer from where you left off, and the sajda is after the salam. So the distinguishing factor here is whether a long time has passed or not. If a long time has passed, to the extent that, and a long time, for example, the scholars say you broke your wudu, or you left the masjid, or you started praying a sunnah prayer because now you've started a new prayer, then this old prayer is invalid. And you just pray the prayer from the beginning again, and you don't need to make any sujood sahw in it. However, if the case is that the time is quite short, maybe a minute or two, 5 minutes passed only, you're still pretty much you're still in a state of wudu, you're still around the masjid, in the masjid, nothing so far, like nothing major has happened, you may continue your prayer from where you left off. Even if you spoke, even if you turned to your friend and said, did we pray our prayer short? Yeah, I think we prayed only 2 rak'ah. You can stand up and continue your 2 rak'ah, make your salam, and then make sujood sahw after the salam. So this one deals with adding. There are 2 situations for adding. One is adding something to the prayer, one is adding an extra salam by cutting the prayer short. Okay. Now we move on to the second one, which is leaving something out. So in this case, you have left something out of the prayer. So the first possibility is that you left out takbiratul ihram. You did not say Allahu Akbar in the beginning of the prayer. The moving of the hands is not such a big deal, but you didn't say the words Allahu Akbar. In this case, the salah is invalid and you have to pray again. And there is no sujood sahw in that prayer. If it is something other than takbiratul ihram, from the pillars of the prayer, okay? So now we're talking about missing out a pillar other than takbiratul ihram. Okay. In this case, if you have reached the place of that pillar in the following rak'ah. So for example, you missed out Surah Al-Fatiha, and then you have got to the point where you've started reading Surah Al-Fatiha in the next rak'ah. This entire rak'ah is invalid, and you must bring one more new rak'ah at the end of the prayer to make up for that entire rak'ah, which is invalid and you make sujood as-sahw after the salam. So let's say, for example, I forgot to make ruku'. So I said, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin, Wal-Dhalin, Ameen, and so on. And then I went straight into sujood. Then I sat, then I went into sujood again. Then I sat, and I stood up, and I started reading Surah Al-Fatiha. And I get to the point where I've gone into sujood again. This time I've remembered. The entire rak'ah that I prayed without sujood is invalid. Without ruku', is invalid. And I have to now stand up at the end of my prayer and add one more rak'ah to make up for that rak'ah that I missed, and I make sujood as-sahw after the salam. If I haven't yet reached that point, so for example, I read Surah Fatiha and I missed out the ruku' and I went into sujood, but I haven't yet got to the ruku' yet in the next rak'ah, and you haven't got that far. I'm still in sujood. It is obligatory for me to go back to that ruku'. Yani I stand up from sujood, I go back into ruku', I don't add any more rak'ah at the end of the prayer, and I make sujood as-sahw after the salam. So again, we're talking about the pillars here. We're talking about missing a pillar. We're talking about missing a pillar. If you miss takbirat al-ihram, your salah is invalid. You pray a brand new prayer, and that prayer does not have any sujood as-sahw in it because you're praying that prayer from new. If you missed something else from the pillars, then if you have reached its place in the following rak'ah, meaning you've gone through a whole rak'ah and you've started ruku' again, and you missed your ruku', but now you've reached ruku' in the next rak'ah, the whole rak'ah is invalid, and you have to bring it again at the end as though you came late. And as though you're a late comer, you bring a new rak'ah at the end completely, and you make sujood as-sahw after the salam. If, however, you haven't got that far, so you missed ruku', you went into sujood, but you haven't got back to ruku' again, you haven't gone that far, you're only just still in the same rak'ah, then stand back up, go back into ruku' where you should be, finish your prayer and make sujood as-sahw after the salam. You do not need to add another rak'ah in this case because you've gone back to where you should be. What about the wajibat, the obligations? If you forget an obligation, one of three things apply. If you forget an obligation, one of three situations apply. Either you remember it while you're still in the right position. For example, I'm in sujood and I forget to say Subhana Rabbi al-A'la, and I'm just sitting silently thinking about my dinner or something like that. And then the Imam says Allahu Akbar. I remembered, Subhana Rabbi al-A'la, and then I come up. And there is no sujood as-sahw for this, because I said the words in the correct place. Even if I was a little bit, a few seconds late, or I didn't say it right at the beginning, but I remembered before I moved from the position that I was supposed to say it in. So I say it one time and I go up. For example, I'm in the tashahhud, first tashahhud, and I'm about to ignore it. I'm about to just stand up. But before I move from actually the position of the tashahhud, I think, tashahhud. I can just start it and there is no sujood as-sahw in this case, because I didn't move from the place where it was due. I just forgot about it for a few seconds and then I brought it in the place where it was due. The second situation is that I remember it after having moved but before reaching the next pillar. So for example, I forgot the first tashahhud, and before I reach the next pillar, which is standing up straight, and I'm just halfway there, I realize. In this case, I return back to the sitting place, I do the tashahhud, and I make sujud as-sahw after the salam. I think this should be, I don't know, I think in this flowchart maybe there is a mistake and it should be before the salam, but I will check that one. As far as I remember, that should be before the salam. But anyways, you get the idea. In this case, I missed out a wajib. For example, I missed out saying Subhana Rabbi al-Azim, and I start coming up from ruku', but I haven't yet stood up still. I haven't yet got to the next pillar of standing after the ruku'. And I just got like up a little way. I go back and I say Subhana Rabbi al-Azim, and I make my Sujud as-Sahw. The third circumstance is that I remember after I have started the next pillar. So I forgot about the tashahhud. And I stood up straight and I started reading Surah Al-Fatiha, and then I remembered, my tashahhud. In this case, it is not allowed for me to return back to my position. It's not allowed for me to do that. And I make Sujud as-Sahw before the salam. I make Sujud as-Sahw before the salam. So once again, this is with relation to the wajibat, leaving out the wajibat. Three circumstances. Either I remember when I haven't moved, in which case I do it and there is no Sujud as-Sahw. Or I remember after having moved but before having started the next pillar of the prayer, in which case I go back and I complete it and I make Sujud as-Sahw. And the third circumstance is if I've started the pillar and then I remember that I've started the next pillar of the prayer, and then I remember, in this case, it is haram for me to go back from the pillar to the thing that I forgot, in which case I just leave it and I make Sujud as-Sahw before the salam. Okay. That is the second one, which is missing something out. So the first one we did is adding something in. The second one we did is missing something out. The third one is doubt. And there are two situations with regard to doubt. There are two situations with regard to doubt. The first one is that the person has an idea of which one is correct. So he says, I don't know if I prayed 3 or 4. 3 or 4. You know, sometimes that happens to you. You're in sujud and you're thinking, 3 or 4, 3 or 4. Is it 3 or 4? Then you become confident it's definitely 4. No, it is 4. It is 4. I'm being silly. It's 4. In this case, you act upon what you are leaning towards. And you act upon the thing which you have come to believe is the truth. And you make Sujud as-Sahw after the salam. This is one case where it's very important that it must be after the salam. Why must it be after the salam? Because there is no need to add a sajda into a prayer which may well be correct. And you have a moment of doubt, you then get rid of your doubt. It's not like you have a moment, you're doubting the whole prayer. You had a moment of doubt, then the doubt leaves you. So you make sujood al-sahw after the salam, so that you don't ruin a prayer that is already complete and correct by adding something that isn't a part of it. And the second situation is where you do not have an idea of which one is correct. In other words, your doubt persists. In the first circumstance, your doubt doesn't persist. You doubted, but then your doubt goes away. You make sujood al-sahw after the salam. In this case, you don't know which of the two is correct. You don't know if you prayed 3 or if you prayed 4. And you come and you're just like, I have no idea. So you stand up, you base it on what is certain, which is the lower number. You stand up, you pray one more rak'ah, and you make sujood al-sahw before the salam. Why before the salam here? Because here you definitely made a mistake. Even though the number of rak'at might be correct, but you definitely made a mistake in the sense that you got to a point where you really don't know whether your salah was correct or not. And that's deserving of sujood al-sahw before the salam. As opposed to the first instance where you had a moment of doubt, then the doubt left you. And so the majority chance is that actually your prayer is completely correct anyway. So you make sujood al-sahw after the salam. And that is the summary that Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen rahimahullah ta'ala gave. The only one I have a doubt over is this one with regard to when you start moving from your place, you leave a wajib, you start moving and you go back again. Is it before or is it after? Here it's written after, but it's written in a strange way. It's written make salam, then make sujood, then make salam. But in this, as I remember, it was before, but I will check that. We're going to come to it in Bulugh al-Maram anyway. This is just an overview. Now, the last thing that I want to give you an overview of before we begin the ahadith, and probably won't begin them today, is the issue of sujood al-sahw behind the imam. And there are two major concepts here. First of all, by the way, that we know that there is no sujood al-sahw for an individual praying behind the imam in something that they do wrong, as long as it was done wrong behind the imam. That's the first point. So for example, I'm praying behind the imam and I forgot to say Subhana Rabbi al-Azim behind the imam. There is no sujood al-sahw for me here, because the salah of the imam is enough for me. There is no sujood al-sahw for me when I make a mistake behind the imam as an individual. But what happens if the imam makes a mistake? The first situation you've got to ask is the sujood before the salam or after the salam? It doesn't matter whether you believe it should be before or after, but did the imam do it before or did the imam do it after? This is the first issue. Or actually, sorry, before that we have one more issue. If you are praying, if you have been praying the whole prayer with the imam, you're not running late, you don't have anything extra to pray, then you make sajda with the imam and the issue is finished. This is the first one. So I'll repeat that again. You're praying with the imam and you're not running late. You were with him from the beginning of the prayer or from Surah Al-Fatiha or whatever. Or from the ruku'. You're not missing any rak'at. You're not going to stand up and pray. In this case, the issue is very easy. You just follow the imam. If he does it before, you do it before. If he does it after, you do it after. It's an easy situation. The difficult situation for the imam is when you still have something to pray. When you still have something left to pray, and the imam makes sujood al-sahw. So at this point, you still have a rak'ah left to pray, or 2 rak'ah, or 3 rak'ah, and the imam is making sujood al-sahw. So that there are only two questions you need to ask yourself. The first one is he making sujood al-sahw before the salam or after the salam? If before the salam, then follow him. If after the salam, stand up and continue praying and don't follow him. This is the first point. If the imam is making, this is for the one who is running late, and he has one rak'ah to make up, or two, or three, or four, and the imam is making sujood al-sahw. If the imam makes it before the salam, he should follow the imam. Based on the hadith, إِنَّمَا جُعِلَ الْإِمَامِ لِيُؤْتَمَّ بِهِ. The imam has been made to follow. If he's making it after the salam, it's not allowed for you to follow the imam. Because by this time, you cannot follow him in the salam. The imam says, Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah. It's haram for you to follow him in the salam. Because you still have a prayer to make up. You can't make salam. You can't just add a salam into your prayer. So at this point, you have to stand up and ignore the imam. But there is now a second question. And it's the same whether the imam does it before or after. And that is, do you repeat sujood al-sahw at the end of your prayer? So you came late, the imam made sujood al-sahw before the salam, you copied him. Or the imam made sujood al-sahw after the salam and you didn't copy him. In either circumstance, when you finish your prayer, should you make sujood al-sahw or not? And the answer to that is very simple. If you were present when the mistake was made, you make sujood al-sahw yourself after the prayer, regardless of whether you have or haven't made it with the imam. If you were not present for the mistake, meaning the mistake happened, you weren't in the masjid, and you were outside, and then you came and joined the salah after the mistake, you copy the imam for his, if it was before, or you ignore him if it was after, and you don't make sujood al-sahw yourself, because you have no reason to make sujood al-sahw, because you weren't present for the mistake. If, however, you were present for the mistake, in both circumstances you make sujood al-sahw. Even if you've already made it with the imam, you make it again because you made it in the wrong place. You made it in the middle of the salah instead of at the end of the salah. Therefore, you must repeat sujood al-sahw yourself after you have finished your prayer, either before the salam or either after the salam, according to the rules that we laid out. And that more or less is an overview of sujood al-sahw. In all honesty, this is one of those things that really lends itself to a flowchart. And really, it's one of, when you see it as a flowchart, it's so easy to understand. And when you hear it being described, it gets really complicated, which is why I wanted to give you the overview. If you just type in Arabic in Google, Sujud al-Sahw, and go to Google Images, that flowchart of Shaykh Uthaymeen comes up straight away. I translated it into English and corrected the mistakes, if there were any in it. I corrected them. Like typos in it and stuff I corrected them. If I'm hoping I can find that copy. It's been taken down online, but I'm hoping I can find the original copy on my hard disk, and then inshallah I will upload it to Kalima's website, and you guys can download that. Otherwise, we can just make it again, inshallah. We'll just probably during the week just draw it again, inshallah. But it really helps. Think of sujood al-sahw in 3 different areas. Adding something, and be careful, that includes adding the salam too early. Taking something away, either it's a pillar or either it's a wajib. And doubt. And doubt is either, like we mentioned, those 2 situations, either you have an idea of what's right, or you have no idea of what's right. And it works very nice as a nice flow chart. And with regard to the imam, the first question on the flow chart, the Shaykh Uthaymeen didn't do the one for the imam. I was thinking to add it. The first question on the flow chart for the Imam is, did you pray the whole prayer with the Imam? If you pray the whole prayer with the Imam, you copy whatever the Imam does, before the salam or after the salam, and you have no problem. If the answer is no, you didn't follow the whole prayer with the Imam, then the question comes, is the Imam doing it before the salam or after the salam? If before the salam, then you follow him. If after the salam, you don't. Then another question comes from both, regardless of what the answer to that question was. Did you witness the mistake? Were you praying with the Imam when the mistake was made? If so, repeat Sujud Sahw after your own prayer. If not, don't repeat Sujud Sahw after your own prayer. And that summarizes the issue of Sujud Sahw. And inshallah ta'ala, from next week, we will begin with the ahadith in Bulugh al-Maram, where we'll look in more detail. We'll cover some differences of opinion among the scholars, some nuances. We'll try and see if we think that flow chart needs editing, because we might, as you study more, you sometimes come to the conclusion that you don't agree with the flow chart. And that's, sometimes that happens. I mean, it's been, I wrote the translation of that flow chart probably 5 years ago. And I haven't revisited the issue since then. Maybe when we are revisiting the issue in Bulugh al-Maram, we will come to a different conclusion to what we said now. It could be. We could turn around and say, actually, I think that this should be after the salam. I think this should be before the salam. Or we could take the opinion of some of the scholars, among them some of the Shafi'iyya, for example, who say, just do it before the salam unless you can't do it before the salam, in which case you do it after the salam. And which is just like a very simplistic version. And you just do it before unless you can't, because you didn't know about it, so do it after. Which one of them is closer to the sunnah? Which one does the evidence support? This is what we're going to look at in Bulugh al-Maram in quite some detail. It's not a very long chapter, this chapter in Bulugh al-Maram. 1 page, 2 pages, 3 pages. And then there's a topic on Sujud al-Tilawa. It's only three pages, so it's quite possible that in 2 weeks maybe we will finish the topic of Sujud al-Sahw, maybe a week on the topic of Sujud al-Tilawa, and we've got other topics now. The topics are going to move quite quickly, because those of you who've been following the class, you'll realize that the chapter of the description of the prayer, it took quite a long time, to finish at least that chapter. But at this point now, we're into some of the shorter chapters, and we just some of them will just be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, new chapter, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, new chapter. Because these are now getting into that. I mean, there are some slightly longer ones. Salat al-Tatawwu', the voluntary prayers, the salah behind the imam. So there are some little bit longer ones, but generally the classes are going to be moving quite quickly now. I hope so, inshallah. Inshallah ta'ala, we're really trying to push through the salah. There's still a lot of Kitab al-Salah left to go. But it would be my aim, before we
Assalamu guys. Alhamdulillah, thank you for watching this with me, and hopefully it benefited you in some way on how to perform Sujud al-Sahl. Now see, we have Brother Moment on here. Brother Moment, may Allah give you shifa, so you have a flu. And just maybe some dua for him as well, inshallah. So guys, the reason why I brought this topic up again is because a lot of people do forget. We're all human, but especially the elderly. And one of them, of course, my father, he's on 76, subhanAllah. And I noticed that he uses the phone audio and follows along with it because he's forgetting a lot when he drives or when he goes out or anything. But he's forgetting his rakaz as well. So he's using a guide to help him with that. So I just want to see, like, what are the different ways of performing it. So what do we learn from this to perform Sujud Sahw? Um, what have we learned watching this video? If anybody wanted to join in the conversation, or if anybody wanted to add anything to this topic, let me know. I can send you the link, and we can discuss it. So, so what have we learned? We've learned that there's three reasons Sujud Asal should be performed, right? And what are those three reasons? Can anybody name me one of those reasons when Sujud Asal should be performed? Bernard, you want to come on the panel? So the first reason is having added an extra action in the prayer, right? Aziyada. So that's one reason to perform Sujud Asal is when you have added an extra action in the prayer. Second reason is having omitted an action in the prayer, which is called a naqs. A naqs is the second reason that you might have to perform this. And the third reason is being uncertain and in a state of doubt of a particular action, a shock, right? So if you doubt that you've done something uncertainly, I mean, if you're uncertain or you doubt that you've done something in particular, an action, then you should perform this. It's also important to keep in mind that prayer is divided into three categories of action. So when Ustadh Muhammad Tim he was explaining there were um, three categories of action that we had to keep in mind when we did the prayer. What will be the first one? So the first one is actions that are essential pillars of the prayer, which is fard. Right? Fard is an important category to keep in mind. The second one is actions that are obligatory, which is like wajib. Wajib is the third pillar, right? And the third one is actions that are sunnah. So these are three different categories of action which are divided that are very important to keep in mind when doing the prayers. So what's an addition in a prayer? Like what would be considered an addition in a prayer? This is what we have to substantiate from this video when we're watching. So let's say if someone deliberately adds an extra ruku, sujud, or rakah, etc. to the prayer, then of course his prayer will be nullified, right? But if he does it out of forgetfulness, then he must perform sujud as sahw at the end of the prayer. So, for example, in the case in which one added an essential obligatory action to the prayer forgetfully, for example, he made an extra ruku or sajda or rak'ah, and he remembers it after he completed the action or after he finished the prayer, then according to the majority of scholars, one should perform sujud al-sal after the taslim. So he or she is to make the taslim, then perform the two prostrations of forgiveness, and then get back up and make another taslim. Do you guys understand? So if you forgot a ruku or rak'ah, and you remember it after, then you should perform the sujood asal after the taslim. So when we make the taslim, then you perform the two prostrations of forgetfulness, and then you get back up and make another taslim. So the evidence regarding this is related to a hadith of Abdullah Masud, who reported the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam led us 5 rakahs in prayer. We said, Messenger of Allah, has the prayer been extended? He said, what is the matter? They said, you have said 5 rakahs. He, the Prophet, said, verily, I am a human being like you. I remember as you remember, and I forgot just as you forget. Then he performed 2 prostrations as compensation of forgetfulness. This is Muslim 572K. Subhanallah. So there's some evidence right there regarding the hadith. When Rasulullah he prostrated twice because of adding an extra rakah. Another thing that the video mentioned was giving salutations before completion of the prayer and then cutting the prayer short. So in the case where someone cuts their prayer short out of forgetfulness and only remembered after they had finished the prayer, right? That's only after they have finished the prayer, they must return, complete the prayer, and offer sujood as-sal. And due to performing the extra unnecessary taslim, when the prayer was cut short, the prostration for forgetfulness should be done after the taslim. So again, when someone cuts their prayer short out of forgetfulness and only remembered it after they had finished the prayer, they need to return, complete the prayer, and after sujood as-sal, due to performing the extra unnecessary taslim, which was the prayer when it was cut short. The prostration for forgiveness should be done right after the taslim. So it's after the taslim. Abu Hurairah, who narrated, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam led us in praying Asr. And he said the salam after 2 rakahs. Dhul Yadin stood up and said, has the prayer been shortened, O Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or did you forget? The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, neither. He said, one of them happened. O Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, turned to the people and said, "Is Dul Yadin speaking the truth?" They said, "Yes." So the Messenger of Allah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam completed what was left of the prayer. Then he prostrated twice when he was sitting after the taslim. And this is on the side 1226. So, however, if one was to remember while they are performing the addition, then he must leave the addition, continue the prayer, and perform sujood as-sahl at the end of the prayer. So, for example, if one is in the fifth rak'ah, then remembers he must immediately go down to tashahhud, 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 and he completed. Say the taslim and offer sujood as-sahl and offer another taslim. Now, if he was to remember during the shahud, for example, or after the prayer, then he should perform the sujood as-sahl after the taslim and then perform another taslim. And I think you remember in the video he also said that if the imam is on his fifth rak'ah, and people are saying salam, subhanallah, 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 and the imam is not listening, we should quickly go back to shahud, right? So subhanallah, I mean, there's uh, just like Bernard said that Allah is merciful and He has all the answers for everything. And this one right here is very, very important nowadays as well because children as well as elderlies as well as our age, we're so in tune with the outside world or with our lives that sometimes we forget things, um, or we're in such a fast-paced type of lifestyle. But now, like I said, I mean, I saw my father doing this, so I was just kind of curious on, what should somebody do now. Forgetfully omitting an action in the prayer depends on whether the action omitted was um, a sunnah, obligatory, or a pillar of the prayer, right? So, if one was to omit a sunnah of the prayer, such as recitation of the second surah after Al-Fatiha, or raising the hands, etc., then the prostration of forgiveness is not required, and the prayer will be valid. So again, let me repeat that. So if one was to omit a sunnah of the prayer, for example, in the second surah, after Fatiha or raising the hands, etc., then the prostration of forgiveness is not required, and the prayer will be valid. According to Sheikh Abd al-Aziz ibn Baz, performing the prostration of forgiveness for omitting a sunnah is permissible, but is not obligatory. Right, so it's not obligatory. Now, if one was to omit an obligatory act of prayer, like let's say wajib, such as the middle tashahhud or saying Subhana Rabbiyal Ala in the Sujud, and moves on to the next part of the prayer, then all she is only required to do is perform the Sujud as-sahl at the end of the prayer before making the taslim. So this is before making the taslim now. So again, if one was to omit an obligatory act of prayer, wajib, such as the middle tashahhud or saying Subhana Rabbiyal Ala in the Sujud, and moves on to the next part of the prayer, then all she is only required to do is just to perform the sujood or sahl at the end of the prayer before making the taslim. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam let us two rakahs appear in one of the obligatory prayers, and then got up and did not sit for the middle tashahhud. And the people stood up along with him. When he finished the prayer and we expected him to pronounce salutation, make taslim, he said, Allah is most great, while sitting and made two prostrations before taslim, and then pronounced the final taslim. This is Muslim 578. So if one, for example, was determined to get up from the second rak'ah before, without performing the tashahhud, but did not, then he should continue his prayer normally, and nothing is due upon him. However, if he got up after the second rak'ah, forgetting the tashahhud, but has not fully stood up for the third rak'ah, she may sit down, perform the tashahhud, make sujud, a saw, at the end of the prayer after the taslim, and if one fully stands up, then he should continue on with the prayer and perform sujud, a saw, at the end of the prayer before the taslim. The Prophet ﷺ said, when an imam stands up at the end of the two rakahs, if he remembers before standing straight up, he should sit down. But if he stands straight up, he must not sit down, but perform the two prostrations of forgetfulness. Abu Dawood 1036. And I think you guys remember Ustadh Tim talk about that, about standing up on the fifth rakah and going straight down if you went up on the fifth. So if one is to omit the initial takbir, takbiratul ihram, then whether it was deliberate or forgetfully, the prayer is invalid. The reason why is because it's something wajib or fard, other than the initial takbir. Then if it is left deliberately, his prayer is nullified. If one was to omit an essential part of the prayer, a fard, forgetfully like a ruku or sujud or reciting the Fatiha, etc., the rak'ah in which these actions were omitted becomes invalid. So performing only the sujud as-saw will not be sufficient, but rather she must make up the entire rak'ah. One of the three scenarios must apply regarding omitting a pillar, a fard of the prayer. So you guys understand that, right? So the prayer is nullified if you do this. And one of the three scenarios must apply regarding omitting a pillar, which is the fard of the prayer. The first scenario is either the omitting action is remembered before reaching the same point in the next rak'ah, so he should go back and perform the essential part in which he missed, and then continue normally with whatever comes after it. That's the first scenario, right? So if you remember before reaching the same point in the next rak'ah, you should go back and perform the essential part in which you missed, and then continue normally with whatever comes after it. The second scenario is if the omitted action is not remembered until you reach the same point in the next rak'ah, then this rak'ah becomes invalid. So if you don't remember until you reach the same point in the next rak'ah, then your rak'ah becomes invalid. So then you should continue to the next rak'ah, which now replaces the rak'ah that was invalid. So your next rak'ah is going to take over your first rak'ah that you missed, that you did not remember. The third scenario is the omitted action was not remembered until at the completion of the prayer. Then you should go back, perform the missed rak'ah, and perform the prostration of forgiveness. So at the end of the prayer, you said, "Oh, you know what? I forgot this, I forgot." Then you should perform the missed rak'ah and perform the prostration of forgiveness right after. In either case, the prostration of forgiveness must be made at the end of the prayer after the taslim. So in any case of these scenarios that I just mentioned, the prostration of forgiveness must be at the end of the prayer after the taslim. Jazakallah khair. I mean, brother Moment. So I'll give you an example. If one made one sajda, only one sajda in the first rak'ah, and stood right up, without sitting or performed the second prostration, then you started reciting Quran and remembers that you did not sit between the two prostrations or perform the second sajda. In this case, you should go back in the sitting position as between the two prostrations, then prostrate, and then stand up and continue the prayer and perform the prostration of forgiveness at the end of the prayer after the taslim. Let me explain this example again. So if you made only one sajda in the first rak'ah, right? And stood right up without sitting or performing the second prostration, then you start reciting Quran and remember that you did not sit between the two prostrations or perform the second sajda. In this case, you should go back in the same position as between the two prostrations, then prostrate, then stand up and continue the prayer and perform the prostration of forgiveness at the end of the prayer after the taslim. Now here's the thing. So now for the one who remembered after he reached the same point in the next rak'ah, for example, one has missed a ruku. So you missed a ruku in the first rak'ah, but only remember during your sujud, passing the point of ruku of the second rak'ah. Therefore, the first rak'ah becomes invalid, and therefore the second rak'ah becomes your first rak'ah. And you should now add another rak'ah to your prayer and perform the sujood assault after the taslim. You guys understand that? What's up, GGM? Now, for the one who completely missed the rak'ah or the essential part of the prayer and only remembered after making taslim, after the prayer, he should get up and perform the rak'ah and then perform the prostration of forgiveness after the taslim. So Imran bin Hussein reported that the Messenger of Allah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said 3 rak'ahs of the Asr prayer and then got up and went to his apartment. A man possessing large arms stood up and said, Messenger of Allah, has your prayer been shortened? He came out angrily and performed the rak'ah which he had omitted and then gave salutation. Then performed 2 prostrations of forgiveness and then gave salutation. Muslim 574b. SubhanAllah. SubhanAllah, look at that. You know, there's the hadiths have answers for everything, right? Everything that we go through in our daily lives, especially salah, you know, prayers. It has answers for your prayers. If you actually do something or if you immediately do something wrong, it has an answer for that. SubhanAllah, right? So it's always good to go to these hadiths and check out, you know, what is the right process or what do we need to do if something like this happens. For example, having doubts. So as we played the video, there was a topic about doubts, right? So if one had doubts of whether they had done a particular action or not, right? Sometimes you forget, oh, did I do did I after the Fatiha did I say the surah, or did I say Subhana Rabbil Ala 3 times or this many times, or um, did I do my tasneem? Whichever, right? Some people will forget those kind of things sometimes, right? Um, then one should continue on the basis in which he thinks was most likely the case. So complete a prayer and perform the prostration of forgiveness after saying the tasneem. So, for example, if you're praying Isha and you weren't sure whether you prayed the third or fourth rakah, but you believe that it is more likely that the third rakah is more likely the third rakah. So in this case, you should pray another rakah, then perform the tasneem and perform the prostration of forgiveness. And if you believe you're on the fourth rakah, then continue as is and perform the prostration of forgiveness after the tasneem. So if you have doubt that you're on the third rakah, but maybe this is your fourth rakah, but you're on the third, but you think you're on your third rakah, right? So now you have a doubt: am I on my fourth rakah or am I on my third rakah? And but you believe, okay, you know what? I might be on my third rakah, right? So you go, okay, I think I'm on my third rakah. So in that case, you should pray another rakah. So that way it's 4 in your mind. Then perform the taslim and perform the prostration of forgiveness. Now, if you believe you're on the fourth rakah, but you're, let's say, on your third rakah, then continue as is and perform the prostration of forgiveness after the taslim. Does that make sense? However, if one is in complete uncertainty if one prayed, for example, there's uncertainty 3 or 4 rakah for the Asr prayer, then you should continue on the basis of the lesser amount, which is 3 rakah in this case, and perform the prostration of forgiveness before the tasneem. Before the tasneem. So if you're uncertain if you're on the third or fourth rakah, then you should choose the lesser of the amounts, which is third rakah. And then before the tasneem, you do the prostration of forgiveness before the tasneem. So the Messenger of Allah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, when any of you in doubt about his prayer and he does not know how much he has prayed, 3 or 4 rakahs, he should cast aside his doubt and base his prayer on what he is sure of, the lesser. Then perform 2 prostrations before giving salutation. But there are two situations in which doubt should not be considered. Right? There's two situations in which doubt should never be considered. One is, what do you guys think it is? What's one of them? I'll give you a hint. It starts with a W. Waswas, right? So there are 2 situations in which doubt should not be considered. The first one is waswas, which is frequent doubt due to whispers of shaitan. And the second is a thought which came about, like delusion. In this conclusion, Sujud as-Sahw should be performed. So before the tasneem, when an obligatory part of the prayer has been omitted, you complete doubt of how many rakahs you have performed. This is before the tasneem. You should do it, right? And when you should do the Sujud as-Sahw after the tasneem is when an extra action has been done, like wajib or fard, or the prayer has been cut short, or you're in doubt, but one of the two choices seems more likely to be in case. Then you do the taslim, the sujood assault after the taslim. Now these rulings that I got is taken from the scholar Ibn Uthaymeen. Uh, but there is since there are some differences in opinions among scholars regarding the ruling of sujood assault. If one forgets whether it should be performed before or after the sleep, inshallah, there's no blame on him if he chooses which way, and Allah knows best, right? I mean, so guys, I hope I gave you guys now let me go ahead and explain how to perform sujood assault one more time. So if you guys don't know how to do sujood assault, and inshallah in the future, if you do forget, you guys know in what in which manner you should do the sujood assault before taslim or after taslim. We already discussed, or when it should be done and when it should not be done. Let me go ahead and share with you how to perform sujood assault. So basically, when you make a mistake or have doubt whether we have completed a certain action or not, so to compensate for this forgiveness, you're to perform two prostrations at the end of the prayer, which should be performed like any regular prostration during our daily prayers. So there's no special dhikr to be recited, rather, as usually done in the prostrations, we recite Subhana Rabbiyal Allah 3 times and say between the two prostrations during sitting. Rabbir Firli, Rabbir Firli, which means Lord forgive me, Lord forgive me. So we say again Subhana Rabbiyal Allah 3 times, and between the two prostrations during sitting, we say Rabbir Firli, Rabbir Firli, Rabbir Firli, Rabbir Firli. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't come only during Salah. You're right, brother. But that's the time. If Shaitan does come between you and you're uncertain, then you should not um that is that is when you should not be considered doubts. In any case, you should just do the sujood assault should be performed. So alhamdulillah, I'm glad we went over this. Um, does anybody want to add anything to this conversation? Hopefully, I covered all of it for you guys, inshallah. We'll sujood assault. Inshallah, I'm going to be talking to my father tomorrow. I explain to him what he needs to do if he does forget. Inshallah, as well as my 7-year-old. Um, and of course myself, if I do forget, then I can use this as well. But I think this was a great subject to talk about. Um, because there's a lot of things in our minds lately. With coronavirus, with all these things. Sometimes our minds can wander due to stress or medical reasons or just age, like I said. So it's amazing how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has answers for everything, and and is so merciful that He also has mercy over performing salah. Isn't that amazing, guys? That He also gives us mercy when it regards to salah, you make a mistake. So, guys, if you guys want to add anything to it, like I said, thank you, brothers, for adding what you're adding, Bird Nest, JJM, Brother Moment. Um, Definitely great, knowledgeable brothers. What's up, Safa? How you doing? Um, the video was a great video by Ustadh Tim. Um, Sujud Sahw, and and how to perform it. And it's very easy to perform, mashallah. So um, there shouldn't be something difficult to do. Just remember when to do it. Like I said, before taslim or after taslim, you guys should be good. I think Brother Burness had added the video link. Let me go ahead and add the video link as well. So if you guys want to go over it with yourselves, let me share you the link. Here's the link for it's about an hour long video, but it explains in depth on Sujud song. Hadith number 262 speaks about as well. I'm good. I'm good. You know, just moving and oh wow, Carter Green's 11 minutes. Maybe we should have played that one, but it's all good. You guys can watch each one. Burners, if you want to share that link again too, definitely share that link. Khalid Green. Sorry, Burners, I played the 50-minute one. But yeah, I mean, so is there anything else you guys wanted to add or talk about, or then we go and like the channel, subscribe to it, share it. Okay, great. So links are above. Yeah, it definitely was worth it. Alhamdulillah. Um, Hopefully the people will watch it later when they're not, when they're at work and so that. We don't get a lot of live people watching, but alhamdulillah, like afterwards they do watch the channel when they're at work or when they're driving. They listen to it. So I'm glad they benefit off of it. You know, when they watch it later down the line. Let's see. For example, normally I'll have like 5 people live, 5 to 10 people live, maybe 10 the most. But we see here. But some of them reaction. How you doing, brother? I'm going to share the meet link. You guys want to join? Discuss anything? Brother Moment. You guys want to join? Let's see here. Let me share a link here. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, brother? Jafar.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Hey, what's going on?
How are you, reactionary?
Yeah, good. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah,
You?
alhamdulillah. Good to hear from you, akhi.
Thank you. And you as well. No, I didn't see it. Oh, yeah. How was it? Hmm. Hmm. So what do you have to do? Okay.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers.
Alaikum salam.
A reactionary. Sorry, Jafar. Assalamu alaikum,
Assalam.
reactionary.
Alaikum salam, brother.
Akhi, I sent you DM earlier, man. It was a good topic.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, you never check my DMs anyways.
No, I wasn't using Hangouts today much, so I didn't see.
How are you, Jafar? Okay, sorry. Carry on, Akhi. Alhamdulillah, man. Just tired. That's about it. Mm.
Hmm. Yeah. I don't know who that is.
Is it Tim Hample?
What I remember about let's say you're praying, right? 4 rak'ahs, but you can't remember if you prayed 3 or 4. Then you should go with that which you're certain about. So if you can remember doing 3 rak'ah, then continue as though you've prayed 3, and then pray the 4th at. Go on. Yeah. Yeah. True. Yeah. Someone in the chat is saying that you're on silent. Yeah. No voice.
Yes, reactionary. What you been up to, man?
Yeah, not much, bro. How you doing?
Good, man.
Alhamdulillah. What about you?
How about now?
Yeah, I don't know. What's his name? Isa. What was the topic you were talking about?
Oh, the topic. Can't remember now.
Yeah.
It's too late.
They can hear you now, Jafar. They can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, they can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay.
So it seems like Trump is going to contest the election result. Yeah?
Oh man.
Yeah.
Going to drag it into a long thing.
You know, a friend of mine sent you a hadith, right? But let me read this hadith to you guys. And tell me this is not what is exactly what it is, right? Hold on, so check this out. So he sent me this, and let's see.
Jackson, do you want to hear something funny? Someone asked Biden about this whole thing, not accepting the election. Trump not accepting the election and saying that he refused to leave the White House. You know what he replied with? He said, "I'm pretty sure the United States government are capable of evicting people from their houses."
Okay, you know what? My bad. This is not a hadith. This is by Albani, by Sheikh Albani. He said that at any rate, the Muslim doesn't rejoice at the removal of a kafir and another kafir taking his place, because kafir disbelieves one system and the politics are the same. All of them converse upon the same politics. Is only the changing of the faces. That's true, right?
Okay.
So he says that a removal of one kafir to another kafir taking his place, Muslims shouldn't rejoice. Muslims don't rejoice about this, right? Which is definitely true. I mean, it was like dead on point right there. So Biden or Trump, it doesn't matter, because when Obama was president, we still had a ban of Muslims anyways coming to the U.S. It's just that it wasn't publicized as Trump did. You know what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah.
So
two heads of the same snake.
Doesn't really matter. Exactly. So, bro, you know how much I convinced all my family not to go vote, man. I was like holding them down. I was like, "Yo, stop, don't go." And they're like, "All right, won't go."
Why?
I mean, we live in Florida anyways. Right? It really didn't matter anyways. We're not, but I was trying to save them the haram and voting. You know, I don't know, man. Think of it this way, right? You're saving yourself. Plus, Biden's not going to win in Florida, so it wouldn't even matter. And I was right. Trump won Florida.
Did he? Is it usually a Republican state?
I'm telling you how he. Yeah, it's a Republican state. It's a red state. Blue states are like Chicago, like Illinois.
Yeah.
New York. The South is more red. With all the Ku Klux Klans and stuff like that. But yeah, it's kind of funny that now he's crying about rigged election when he was the one that rigged the election last time with the Russians. So I was laughing about that. I was like, man, contradicting himself. So how you guys been doing, man? You guys, it's been a minute since you guys came on this panel.
Yeah, bro. All good. Alhamdulillah.
We call it. You guys want to add anything to the topic or discuss another topic? I think Muhammad Musa was joining as well right now.
Is he trying to join now? I've sent him the
Hey, have you
link.
been have you Rex, have you ever spoken to Brother Momin?
Brother who? Mo Tu Min.
He's from South
No,
America.
I don't know who that is. No.
Yeah, Mo Tu Min. He's a good brother. He's from South America.
Oh yeah, mashallah.
I think you might have talked to him maybe on Zubayd's channel.
From South America.
Yeah, he lives in South America.
No, I'm not familiar with him. But maybe if I hear his voice, inshallah. Big up, brother Mo Tu Min.
Brother Momin, come and join us on the panel, inshallah. Let me send him the link.
Yes, reactionary.
So
Yeah. What's up, Isa?
Yeah, my reactionary man. Come join us in it, like on calls, man. Stop hiding, man.
Yeah.
You guys invited him to the calls?
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, innit? If
He
there's any
invited
call.
me to a call. Yeah. I know he's
to
got
a
bare
call.
calls going on, but he added me to a call. One of the calls.
I haven't been on many calls lately either. Actually, sometimes it's good not to be on calls all the time.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
try
really.
to avoid the private hangouts, to be honest.
Yeah, me too.
I prefer just the public ones. The private ones, there's too much skullduggery stuff going on.
Yeah, exactly. Where's Hey, how come my link's not working? Oh, here it is. How about you, CJ? How you doing, man?
Alhamdulillah, good, man. Just good. So reactionary, what do you think of this? What's going on in the States? You think they'll have a civil war?
I doubt
No,
it,
man.
to be honest. Yeah.
No.
Bro, you should be asking
That
me, bro.
being
I'm in the
said,
States right now, bro. I'll tell you.
yeah, they've had a civil war in the past, haven't they? So who's to say it won't happen again? Plus, every empire has its day, and this might be the end of the American empire. Who knows?
Yeah.
Bro, there ain't gonna be no civil war, bro.
No, you don't think so?
You say that, bro,
Almost.
but you know, like the South, they're armed, bro. Those people are armed. And
Yeah, they're
apparently,
armed,
since
but
this BLM
they're
thing,
a minority now.
there's been so much purchases of guns around the country. You never know, bro.
That's true, but
Like if
so it means
certain
that
powers that
white
be
people.
want there to be some sort of revolution, it's going to happen. But it's going to be a controlled revolution. Like it's not going to be random. Like they're gonna like it might appear. It's planned. That's what I say.
What would be crazy? What would be crazy is that would be crazy if Trump divides the U.S. and he becomes his own president in the South. And he says, "Yo, this is my country."
But he's not a Southerner, is he? He's not even from the South. That's what's interesting.
Yeah. But the thing is that white people are a minority now in the U.S. anyways. That's why they're so scared.
No, I don't think. Are they a minority? I don't think so. I think they're just
they're
not.
a minority. Yeah.
No, man.
So
White Americans
Who's the
are at least 70%.
Yeah.
Let me look.
So who's the majority then? If it's not them,
I think it's mixed race now, right? There's a lot of mixed race going on now. Like black and white, and look at Kamala Harris. She's black and Indian. So there's a lot of mixed race, Let's see. Race percentage. America. There you go. So you census data. Okay, yeah. White's still up there. But they're declining though. They're declining. So they're declining, but they're still the majority.
They're a huge majority.
Yeah, some of those white people got some
76%.
73% right now.
76.
So 36.3. But you know what? White can also be mixed race white too. You know what I'm saying? Like black and white, or Hispanic and white. You know what I'm trying to say? Because there's not mixed race. Oh, here, there are two more racist percentage.
America is the third largest population. Only India and China have a higher population than America.
Wow.
India probably has the highest in China.
I think
India and China, bro.
It's China and then India. Assalamu alaikum, Musa.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, brothers?
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Good, man. You missed my topic for today, man. I was solo though, but I got through it.
MashaAllah. What was the topic?
You want to add anything to
What was the topic?
Sujud Sahw.
Oh yeah, sorry. Sujud Sahw, yes. MashaAllah. That's good. We all make mistakes in prayer, like out of forgetfulness or whatever. So it's a good thing to know, inshallah.
Yeah, I brought it up because yesterday when I went to my parents' house, we're doing our salah, and my dad comes out, and he comes out with his phone and turns on the YouTube, and plays the YouTube on the side while doing salah. And I asked my mom, I was like, "What is he doing?"
Oh, I see. Like he's trying to.
He's forgetting things.
Okay. So he's trying to watch a video and pray salah at the same time. Okay.
No, he's not watching the video. He's listening to the Allahu Akbar, for the sajdas.
Oh, okay. So he's like trying to follow Imam in the prayer.
Yeah, he doesn't want to forget the rakahs. Yeah, he doesn't want to forget the rakahs that he's in, like the rukus. So he forgets what ruku he's in. Like he's in the third ruku or the fourth ruku or the second ruku and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I was like, man, what should he do if he's doing this?
Is that Musa? Do you think that's is that acceptable? Do you think?
No. You should correct him, inshallah. Correct him that this is not correct. Like
I know, that's what I told him. So
you should.
Yeah. Now I found this out, and I asked some other brothers as well. Like, what should I do?
Yeah.
So I think the best thing to do is like he lives like 5 minutes away from me, so maybe I'll just go over there when prayer time is. Just have it sit behind me,
Yeah.
Fair, do it that way. That way, you don't forget things.
When the lockdown happened, right? The lockdown when it happened for Corona, like at the peak of its lockdown across the countries, many people did their the Jummah Salats like this. They used to have the online. I don't know if you guys had these announcements or whatever from their local messages, but they used to broadcast their khutbah, right? And then people used to follow them from their homes. Like the imams, like the imam would lead, and then like online, like through audio or through video, whatever, and then everybody would pray their salahs, their Jumas behind that. So they would have.
No, they've been doing that.
Yeah.
They were doing that. They were doing that before coronavirus, man. I remember on Facebook. I think I mentioned. I think I mentioned it on here a while back. I saw on Facebook someone doing the khutbah, and but you know the thing with the coronavirus is that I mean I didn't watch the videos, but we did our own Jummah.
Yeah. That's best that you do your own like Jummah with your family, or well, you can't do a Jummah really with a family. You have to pray by yourself pretty much. You know, I think there are some usuls about Jummah and the kind of place, the gathering, the number of people, lots of things. So I think people mostly opted for praying by themselves, kind of thing.
Yeah, we had like 6 people in the house, so I just led the Zohar prayer.
Sure.
But yeah, man. I mean, I think a lot of this is gonna come on online. I mean, that's what we gotta find out is that there's any fatwas about this. Listening to khutbahs and behind virtual imams.
Yes, virtual imams, right? Yeah. Are we live or?
Yeah, we live.
Okay, all right. So what are we talking about? Like, what's the discussion? Like, what's the?
Who's that in your picture today, Musa?
Sorry, brother.
Who's that in your picture today, Musa?
Do I have a picture? I don't even know if I do have one. I can't see myself. What is this? What does it show?
So old.
I'm asking you. Who's in your picture today, Musa?
The older gentleman.
I think it's Sheikh Uthaymeen smiling. I think that's the one.
Okay.
Yes.
And why you got that picture?
I put this picture because I was really inspired by this video. The Sheikh had. You can Google it. It's YouTube. It's called Sheikh Uthaymeen Humor. And when I saw it, I was like, Subhanallah, the humor is also so. Yani has so much wisdom. You know, he was talking about the people bringing questions, and he said that yani the questions must follow the rules of Qawaid Arabi. Yani it has to follow proper Arabic grammar. And every time the questioner who was taking question from the public phrased this question to him, he kept correcting him to ensure that his criteria for answering the questions was met. And that guy was stumbling and he was laughing. So, mashallah, it was a very I was really I felt really nice when I saw that. So I just took that picture, and this was a smile from that that he had from that video. So I just put it there. Good question, by the way. I hope you're satisfied by my answer. Yeah.
Are you satisfied with his answer, Reshner?
It's up to him why he does things. I just wondered what his reason was for this picture today.
Oh, there's a reason for everything, man. Not everybody enters panels and quickly changes their pictures, you know. Not everybody does that.
There are some people that do that. Some people have like 15 of them ready to go.
Yeah. And I just noticed that when people enter panels or for a specific debate or for a particular reason, they would quickly change their picture to something else and then kind of like to give a message, right? An entry message that, you know, this is what I'm about. You know. Yeah. No, but I've seen this picture like about almost a week now. I have this picture, a couple of days actually.
It's like a matrimonial picture, right? Like a matrimonial profile. Change the profile every time.
Yeah, imagine using this picture on a matrimonial website. I don't think the woman would be really interested. Actually, conversely, there would be a lot of Salafiya women who wear niqab and stuff. They might actually be attracted. So, but the likelihood of that is very less. You know, it's a very small percentage of the majority.
You never know, man. We should do like a test and see how many people.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Do it like
not everybody knows Sheikh Uthaymeen. Not everybody knows Bin Baz. You know, Salafiyya is a very rare thing. Like compared to the rest of the world, is a very small percentage. So compared to Sufiya or other, you know, dynasty of groups as they call it, you know, if you go to their masajid, you'll be like, wow, like these guys are so powerful, so well funded. You know what I'm saying? So And when I go to Salafia mosque, like whatever is left of Salafia really in Toronto, like it's like pretty much one or two, like masajid, one in the basement and one in like a bookstore. So that's pretty much it. So yeah, I wonder why they don't have all this like elaborate funding, because they can really get the funding from like Saudi, right? Because Saudi is like Salafia, right? Like all over the place. So why don't they get these fundings? Like I always wonder. Like why?
I thought they do get funding. I thought Saudi does fund organizations and stuff like that.
Or one of the reasons could be that because it could turn
Saudi
into a
charity donations was stopped since 9/11. They're not allowed to do it.
Yes. That could be due to that. That you can easily go into a strand of extremism because of funding a Salafia mosque, and that's true though. Like a lot of
George W. Bush.
Yeah,
that is dangerous. I remember at some level, so many charities got audited and found there was like links. Like most of them had links to something. And I was like, damn. I was like, wow, that's crazy. But yeah, you gotta be careful nowadays. Who you do charities to. So
I wonder why the Shia mosques are so well funded. The Shia organizations, they're so well funded, man. Like, is it coming from Iran, or is it like because the Shias are so rich, like in the US, for example? I don't know.
I think it's coming from Iran, man. I think it's coming from Iran.
Like the US have with Iran, like the US-Iran relationships are not that great. So how are Shia so powerful? They're very powerful in the US, right? I mean, you probably have seen. Very powerful in Canada.
I haven't seen that. I don't see that. No, Chicago. Man, I think they only got one masjid in the Chicago area that I know of. But yeah, I don't see that many. But you know what? I thought in the UK, doesn't Iran fund the UK masjids, the Shia masjids?
The UK, I have no idea. Brother Cisse or like I don't know.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I don't really keep up to date with the Shia politics, other than stay away from their.
No, I remember watching.
temples.
I remember watching one of those defense videos where they were showing these ayatollahs or whatever. With Raza, Rizvi, and they're all together.
I don't think they're that much funded. If they were, you find the temples everywhere. There's only 2 or 3 temples
I
of theirs.
think their army. I think their army being funded from the. Oh, you know what? I think it's the other way around. The UK is funding Iran.
Yeah, I don't think they fund the UK. I think Iran is mostly investing their funding in Lebanon and Iraq.
Yeah, Iraq, the militants. Yeah. I think the UK is too, right? The UK Shias are too.
Yes. They probably donate to them as well. Yeah.
I think that's what I was watching. But you think that's fair to do? I mean, do you think they should stop doing that, or have them stop doing that?
They should, man. They should. Yeah, you're right, man.
It's crazy that they're doing that. What do you call it? So what you been up? So what you guys been up to? Reaction, what you been up to lately? Any projects?
Sorry?
Any projects? Have you been up to any projects lately? Or
projects?
Yeah, like
no, not really, rough. Just
you should start up. You should start up your channel again. You should start up your channel.
Yeah. Inshallah, yeah. I'll probably. Yeah, I might do that soon. Inshallah.
But mostly, you know about Reaction's channel, right?
The Reaction, have you not been live recently? You don't go live that much anymore on your channel.
No, I haven't gone live in a while, bro. I just find it like, because it's a bit of effort. Trying to go live. In the old days, it was simple. You just went with Hangouts, and it was simple.
Reaction, I have a question. We have this group where we do Usul al-Thalatha with Brother Mukhtar and is Sharh of Uthaymin. I was wondering if you would like to join our panel because it's very beneficial. Maybe we can also benefit from you, you know. And inshallah, we're planning to finish. We're almost halfway, or more than a little bit halfway through it. Then we plan to inshallah start the Usul al-Sunnah of Imam Ahmad, Sharh of either Sheikh Rabi or I don't know if anybody else has done it, and move on to Wasitiyah. So we want to be within the Sharh, right, of the ulama. So I was wondering if we can have you, join us. If you would like that, then I would like to ask Brother Ibrahim, that if he can, if we'll do a shura, if we'll talk to the brothers and see if he can add us. I think he has some time zone differences, so it's not very easy always, but we do try to keep it very, as
who's Brother
regular.
Ibrahim?
Sorry, what?
Who's Brother Ibrahim? You said.
Brother Ibrahim
Khalil.
Ibrahim Khalil.
Khalil.
Oh, is it his group?
Yeah. Would you like to be in that group?
No.
No, okay.
Reactionary, come on,
Thanks
man.
anyway.
No. See, this is nothing like we don't go off tangent. We're very strict. No tangents of whatsoever. Strictly.
No, bro. It's his group. Yeah. I don't think I'll be welcome there, bro. So,
No. See, there's a difference between you not liking it and you not being welcome. We can tackle those issues separately, right? There's a difference there. But as you as a person, would you like to be there?
It's a lot easier just to continue with you. Keep going. If you want to do a separate thing with me, you're welcome, bro. No problem.
But we actually you also have to understand that we accept that no one has the right to interfere in someone's seeking of knowledge, and like if we're learning something and you wish to learn with us or help us with our learnings, I don't think anyone has the right to deny someone's Islamic learnings, right? I don't think Ibrahim is that arrogant or egotistic.
No, it's not about that. Look, it's his group, right? He can invite who he wants into his group. It's like saying, I've got a house. I'm going to have a circle of knowledge in my house. Nobody can just walk into my house without my permission.
Let's respect let's respect reactionaries.
Yeah. Well, if you want to do a separate thing, we can do that. That's not a problem.
Hey, inshallah. I mean, if you guys want to do something separate with him, you guys can do that. Though.
And that type of thing. Why are you guys doing it private anyway? Why don't you do a public show?
Yeah, that's a good question. Musa, why don't you guys do it publicly?
I don't know. Because because what happens is we tried that once, not public though. We tried in a larger group, and sometimes what happens is not the actual lesson within the audio, but the chat itself. Sometimes the brothers go off on tangents, like different discussions. It's not like strictly deen related. So I think minimize that. Yeah.
No, but Musa, what I'm saying is that even the same people in the panel just air it live, like like on Muslim Matters or someone's channel.
Trust me. I personally believe if this went live, then it will be quite beneficial from the kind of content we go through, right? And Brother Mukhtar goes through it, right? It's honestly,
tell us what you've learned so far. Then.
Huh?
What have you learned so far from the circle? Inshallah.
It's just a Sharh of Uthaymin, right? We read this, right? And mashallah, we understand the usul thalatha.
Musa, what's your explain to him about the Genghis Khan thing? Remember when I was in the group, you guys were talking about how you found out about Genghis Khan, and while reading, it led you into Genghis Khan and some other things?
Oh no, the Genghis Khan was like a side kind of research that I did with this other brother who's also part of the panel. We went into some of the texts of Bidayah and Nihaya of Ibn Kathir, and we found out that some interesting things about Genghis Khan, how at the time when he was laying the constitution for his Kitab al-Yasaq, which is the code of law for the Mongols and the Turks, the regions that they captured. So apparently he was being inspired, somewhere up in the mountains, and he was going up and down constantly. And apparently, he said that he claims that it was from Allah. He has been inspired by Allah to make these laws. And even Kathir, he clearly says that it's the shaitan who's speaking from inside him. So we found these things, like we didn't know much about Genghis Khan, right? So we just did a research. I mean, but that was something different. It was not live. But Usul Salasa is very interesting because, I mean, we do have the shot of Uthaymin, but it shows that a lot of brothers haven't actually delved into it, like haven't actually read the details of what Uthaymin has written, you know. So when we start discussing those things and going over them, we found that there's so much they're gems, like gems of understanding. So I personally benefited a lot, and we're also memorizing the text of Shaykh al-Islam, so that some of his, because his phrases are very comprehensive, like very easy to memorize, and also very.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, what? All right. So, if you were to say to somebody in a few words, what is Usul Salasa? What is that book? What's it about?
So Usul Salasa is basically that the Marifatul Abdi, the Marifatul Abd for his deen, for Allah, and for the Messenger. So this is the basic, right? And then there are the principles of Tawheed also that go in. For example, the definition of Islam: Tawheed, Rububiyyah, Uluhiyyah, Asma wa Sifat. So these are like various things, and then we go through the kinds of ibadah that are involved, right? Like Islam, Ruju, Khawf, Khashya, and all these things. And then the explanations like about the differences and the types of fear. These are very interesting things. When people listen to it, it's truly beneficial, and
okay.
Actually, like you can go over it, like you can read it by yourself, really. But when you do it as a group, there's like this different kind of I feel there's a different kind of a barakah. Like, it's like, I don't know. I just feel that there's like a different kind of a feeling when you go over it as a group of brothers seeking knowledge. So I feel that was like a good experience.
Yes. Good experience.
But some people say that it's like kind of innovation doing.
Like there was, I won't take the brother's name, but the brother, he brought a point where it's a little bit skewed in my view, where he says that, okay, you can go to a shar of people, you can go to a shar of a work, no problem, but don't discuss the lessons. Like, just read the shar. And to be very honest, like, if we don't discuss the lesson, how can we enforce the understanding? Like, you know what I'm saying? We're not going out of the parameters of the book, of the shar. We are within the shar. We are talking within the context and the boundaries laid by the shar. So you're not discussing something off on tangents. But if we ask each other and then question, answer, and then which we do, by the way. For example, Mukhtar, when he says, okay, he asks a question and he says, okay, what's the answer? Can you give from the text of the sheikh? Or just as a question to reinforce our understanding. I don't see anything wrong with that. But one brother in particular found this to be kind of like something that can open doors to misguidance, because we should be doing it with scholars. And I don't know, we had a small discussion, and apparently we just parted on being disagreeing with each other. So I guess.
Yes. What do you think of if someone says that? Like, what is your opinion on it?
I don't know, bro. I'm not an expert on that.
Sure.
Do you think there's anything wrong with brothers coming together and discussing the sharh of the ulama and learning from it?
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, exactly. What's wrong with that, right?
That's the question. What's wrong with doing that?
Well, we don't see nothing wrong with it, but there are certain... Yes.
Maybe one of you has, misunderstood it. By discussing it together, you can correct each other. What's wrong with that?
But the person opposing it, what if they come with the best way to learn is at the feet of the ulama? Other than that, you shouldn't do it. If you are the knowledge that you're speaking is above you. Sorry.
So then, why are you sitting in the circle studying this book without an alim then?
No, because the alim is Uthaymin. He's existed with us, right?
No, this is the question, right? No. The person saying this, right?
Yes.
They're saying that you can't discuss the book amongst yourselves, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
You have to sit at the feet of the ulama.
Yeah.
Yes.
But there is no ulama sitting teaching you this book.
But you see, it's basically a ghulu that he's doing, because the alim here is Uthaymeen. His book is the sharh, and we are already doing that now, including another ulama another alim on top of that is a kind of a ghulu, because you're doing like Uthaymeen to the power of 2. You don't need that, right? You already have Uthaymeen.
No. I wouldn't say that. What I'm saying is that
Yeah.
if your position is you should be taken from the feet of the scholars, right?
We are.
By reading the book, you're not doing that.
No. We are taking from the feet of Uthaymeen, for example, quote unquote, if you want to put it that way.
Musa, I think what reaction is doing, I think he's trying to be devil's advocate for the person that's saying it.
No,
he's trying to say
what I'm saying, bro, is that okay, what is the purpose of all right, so who wrote the book?
Sheikh Muhammad Abdul Wahhab, Sheikh al-Islam.
Okay, is that a scholar?
Yes.
Okay, why don't you just read his book directly?
Because we need further explanation for the many branches of the knowledge contained within his words.
Who said you need an explanation for it?
But nobody said it. No, nobody said it.
Why didn't the Sheikh who wrote it do an explanation for it?
That's a good question. I don't know. He wrote a risala, but so later on when we found that Uthaymeen did a sharh on it, we found it to be like something beneficial to use, as an explanation. Yeah.
So I was just asking that just for the purpose of like asking it, but the point I'm getting at now is, so if Sheikh bin Uthaymeen rahimahullah was alive, you would go to his, and he was explaining this book, you would go to his lessons, right?
Yes.
He's not alive.
Yes.
So you don't go to his lessons. Instead, what you decided to do is read his book.
Yes.
Okay. Now, should you do that alone or as a group?
Well, that's where the tricky thing comes in. This person is advocating it should be done on your own. If it's done with more than yourself, it's not recommended, or it's be warned against.
So why is he in your circle then? If he
is not anymore.
He's not. He left because of that.
No,
yes, he attended 3 lessons, and of course, there were a few observations I made, which I kind of based later, that he might be feeling uncomfortable when Q&A is done, because a lot of brothers are not comfortable with Q&A. They just want to learn the knowledge but not be tested on it. And not everybody's coming. I totally get where he's coming from, but I just thought maybe that's the reason. But actually, that's not the reason. The reason is that he changed within 3 days and started becoming disconnected with us over time, over a week's time or 2 weeks. And eventually he completely left with like very, I would say,
negative ways.
Negative ways, which was not really easy.
Maybe he was having...
no, but he always does that.
With your explanations of...
No, but the brother always does that, though.
The book.
Here's a question, right? If we have a sharh of Uthaymeen, right, and first of all, we read it, right? We read his words verbatim, and then we ask questions on it. Yeah, the brother Mukhtar is in Arabic, and he translates also. And then if he's not able to translate, then he takes time, or some other brothers help him. So this basically, and then we also have translation available. But this is what we're doing, right? And then we ask questions, answers to each other about for example, the 3 kinds of khawf. So this is not within the text of Shaykh al-Islam. This is within the sharh of Uthaymeen. So the 3 kinds of khawf about natural fear and other kind of supernatural fear, or the other kind of sirri or secret fear. So and then we read, and so then we are questioned about it, like we brought questions, and we reinforce by answering, saying that yes, this is how we understood it, and then we move on. So what's wrong with, and this of course happens within the context of a discussion, right? This very word discussion is what is discouraged and not good, and can potentially lead to misguidance and fitna. Or you know what I'm saying? Like this is what I don't understand. Like,
which word?
The word discussion.
Oh, okay. Yeah, look, he doesn't want to participate in that method of study, then he left.
Yeah, exactly.
No. The problem is not that he doesn't. If he doesn't want to take part of it, that's fine, no problem. What he's using certain language that is that he wants to discourage others from attending the classes or the lessons.
Yeah, he's trying to make you think that there's some religious principle supporting him not taking part. Yeah.
Well, he's a strong supporter of, if you want to seek knowledge, you should seek it directly from the ulama.
But he does that. He's always negative about everything, though, bro. Like every time
No, Jafar. No, let's refrain from. Obviously, I know that he's speaking about a general topic, but I don't think it's right for us.
Does he speak Arabic?
Allah knows best if he does it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know if he does it.
To study with ulama, you need to know Arabic, right? Which means you shouldn't even be reading this book in the first place. What you should be reading is basic Arabic grammar, Nahu and Sarf. So that would be the next question. What he should be saying right now to you is, why have we skipped basic Arabic grammar? Yeah, why are we reading books in Arabic when we haven't studied Arabic yet?
But I think Musa said that there's somebody in the group that does speak Arabic.
Yeah, so you're relying on him to translate, right? It's not a bad thing. You're benefiting from the book, you know. And it's a basic book dealing with knowledge that all Muslims should know. The questions you'll be asked about in the grave. This is the purpose of this book, right? It's to deal with the questions that every Muslim will be asked in the grave.
Yeah.
That's really the reason the book was written. Okay, and whether you speak Arabic or you don't speak Arabic, these are questions you should know the answer to. So there's no harm in studying that. It's a good thing. And as a group, especially if the book is somebody's reading in Arabic, his vocabulary of English may not be, like fantastic. So he may need assistance from other people in the group to select the best words.
Which is what we've been doing.
Yeah.
Yes, this is what we have been doing.
He's not the only Arab speaker there, so it's more of us that can speak it, and whatever he struggles with, we chip in and help him.
And then what you do as you're hearing what's read, you'll ask questions like, "Did I understand this correctly?"
Yes.
And you'll correct each other. So what's wrong with that?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we don't see anything wrong with it, but this brother is being very harsh towards us.
It can be a problem in certain ways, right? Because you may come to a part of the book where the issue about at-tawalli wal-muwalat comes up, right? So this way it can become a bit tricky because a person may try and interpret or explain it in a way that supports a sort of khariji understanding of it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Whereas but if you're going by the sharh, you should be okay because the sheikh has explained in the sharh. You know what I mean?
So if we get to that part of the book here, would you be interested in joining our call and helping us with that? We'll do like a private group.
You can do your call, and if you got anything you want to discuss with me, you can have a separate call. I'm happy, no problem.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll do a different group and a different call, and we'll invite you there, inshallah.
Yeah, big up.
Yeah, that'll be great, very beneficial because reactionary. Because I heard that you were planning to give lessons to Mukhtar on Arabic. So that was you asked him to bring Medina books. So I think we can really benefit from your, inshallah, your Arabic insight and also knowledge.
Yeah, that is true actually.
There's a lot of people that can benefit you online, brother. It's not just me. Like you could, of all the people, Walid, Wala.
Yes.
He could teach you good knowledge, right? It's got to engage people and get them involved.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a small question about Usul Thalatha, if you don't mind? It's don't take it the wrong way. So I'm not testing you. It's just I just wonder why the Sheikh used this word, because I'm trying to understand his choosing of words. So I'm just wondering if you had an insight in it. It's just no kind of test, actually. Actually, it's not even a test of any kind. It's just it's an opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, so hold on. Let me just see this. So he says here that Oh, sorry, I missed it. Oh man, I just lost the line. Sorry. 1 second. Yes, okay. So it says, you know that part where it says, وَأَعْظَمُ مَا أَمَرَ اللَّهُ بِهِ التَّوْحِيدُ وَهُوَ إِفْرَادُ اللَّهِ بِالْعِبَادَةِ, right? So Tawheed is basically singling out Allah in ibadah. And look at the word ibadah, right? He uses the word ibadah to describe Tawheed. And you know, ibadah has all those branches like Islam, Iman, Ihsan, Khawf, Raja, Khashya, Dua, all these things, right? But when he says, وَأَعْظَمُ مَا نَهَى عَنْهُ الشِّرْكُ هُوَ دعوة to غيره. Why doesn't he use the word ibadah here? Why does he only use a branch of ibadah, which is da'wah, when he's talking about shirk? And when he's talking about tawheed, he used ifrad Allah fil ibadah, like ibadah in total. What's wrong? Or why didn't he use the word when it came to shirk as ibadah to ghayrihi? Instead of ibadah to ghayrihi, he uses da'wah to ghayrihi. Why only da'wah? Because da'wah is just a part of ibadah. So in the definition of
well, no, it's not actually, because in the same book, I believe he says the hadith, ad-du'a huwa al-ibadah. In fact, he quotes a hadith which is da'if, I believe, which is ad-du'a mukhul ibadah. But the authentic hadith says ad-du'a huwa al-ibadah.
Yes, we went through that.
Is ibadah. It's in other words, it's the essence of ibadah.
Okay.
Because when you perform ibadah, you're actually performing dua. You're just not necessarily saying the words. The reason you do an act of worship, you're asking Allah to accept the act from you, to give you reward, to save you from punishment. It's the same as asking for it with words, except you're not using words, you're using your actions.
Right. So if somebody asks you the definition of shirk, would you say that it is da'wah to ghayrihi ma'hu, like calling other than him along with him, or would you rather say ibadah to ghayrihi ma'hu, which is a more comprehensive,
there is a sort of agreed upon definition of shirk. I would use that definition, but in this book, da'wah to ghayrihi, because that's really the issue he was contending with in the day, in his day.
Right.
Calling on other than Allah. Right. So and there's also shirk al-akbar and shirk al-asghar. This is separating.
I don't know. I just felt the word ibadah is better. Yeah, I just felt the word ibadah was better, just to be consistent with the statement of tawheed, huwa ifradullahi bil ibadah. So conversely, shirk, huwa ibadatu ghayrihi ma'ahu. So that statement is kind of like mirroring statements with a consistent wording. But I don't know whether we should just use da'wah as shirk definition. I think ibadah is more proper, because ibadah also includes those who give sacrifices to their saints, right? Zibh or nuzur or other things that they do for their saints, and even the jinns, for example, those who are magicians. So
and he knows this better than Sheikh Ibn Abdul Wahhab.
And that's why
matters. And he chose this wording. Now, one reason may be to help in memorizing the book. Who knows? But what does the explanation say then?
The explanation just says, it says, وَعْبُدُ اللَّهَ وَلَا تُشْرِكُوا بِهِ, and it goes in detail about that part. Just about calling. And
did he explain what da'wah means?
1 second. I don't even know if we actually reached this point though, as part of the lessons. This one we didn't reach yet.
Okay, so you're jumping the gun, bro.
No, I'm not. We actually, what we're doing was me and Mukhtar memorizing the text first, like memorizing the text as well, and that the memorization has preceded more than the actual sharh. So.
You memorize it, mashallah. Okay, let me see if I remember. I used to know some. اعلم رحمك الله أنه يجب علينا أن نعرف 4 أمور, something like that.
It's okay. It's okay. You are using synonyms. It's fine. Actually, I won't catch you on those things. But I would rather, you know,
التعرف على 4 أمور.
تعلم is better. تعلم في تعلم في 4 المسائل, not أمور.
المسائل.
But anyways, تفضل. No problem.
العلم
Yeah.
والعمل به
Hmm.
والدعوة إليه والصبر على الأذى فيه والدليل.
Yes.
I think I can't remember if it said Sahih al-Bukhari.
Yes.
باب العلم قبل القول والعمل.
Yes. You're skipping a lot of things though. Like you forgot to say the ilm is what? Ilm is ma'rifatullahi wa ma'rifatu nabiyhi ma'rifatu din al-Islam.
العلم الأولى العلم هو معرفة what was it again? معرفة.
Like what you said was you said arba masail, but you said ula al-ilm only.
الأولى العلم. العلم
Right?
وهو معرفة
معرفة الله.
الرب.
معرفة الله yes.
معرفة الله
معرفة الله ومعرفة نبيه ومعرفة دين الإسلام بالأدلة. Yes. And then عمل به دعوة إليه وصبر على أذافه. So that you got that.
But he didn't bring any ayat in explanation of that.
This one he said دليل سورة العصر والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر. Yeah.
And then he mentioned باب العلم قبل القول والعمل.
Yes, from Bukhari. Yeah.
MashaAllah, I'd have to revise this book.
MashaAllah, you do remember, MashaAllah, good chunks. Although this is interesting. This is where I made a mistake once. Not a mistake, but I didn't give a complete answer. It was asked, what is the definition of Islam? So I, as just like a layman, answered that it is, al-khamsa, arkan al-khamsa, the 5 pillars. But actually, Islam has a very definition. Yes. See?
وانقياد له بالطاعة.
Yes.
اجتناب الشرك. No, what was it again?
براءة من الشرك وأهله.
Yeah, براءة من الشرك وأهله.
Yes. Anyways, that's why we plan that if we memorize it, then it's gonna stick in our hearts better, like in our minds. So, anyways, trying to keep that in mind, and just sometimes these words, like some of the wordings, it's like, why did he choose this word and not that word? So sometimes that kind of pops in the head sometimes, and this is where you brothers who have actually studied, so they can give us some insight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but sometimes asking why can, lead you down a garden path, which is a bit pointless. You want to deal, when you go through sharh of a book, right? There's different levels of shuruh. I'll give you an example with Kitab al-Tawheed. There are many types of shuruh. When I say many types, there's about 3 or 4 levels of sharh you can get of this book. There's the basic one, which is what you start with, right? Just a very basic sharh. And then you go and then you read it again, but with a more intermediate sharh. And then you come back and you read the advanced sharh, right? And so you've got different books with different levels of sharh. You'll have Taysir al-Aziz al-Hamid, Sharh Kitab al-Tawheed. You'll have Qurratu Uyun al-Muwahhidin, right? You'll have, I can't remember all the names right now, but there's different levels of sharh. Right?
Oh, okay.
And some of them are written actually by the grandson of the Sheikh himself, or like.
Oh, mashallah.
Yeah, so there's different levels of sharh you can get out of the book, and they spend a lot of time studying this. The ulama of Saudi Arabia, they spend a lot of time studying this book, the different levels of sharh of the book. Yeah, like they even teach it in secondary school, bro. Like secondary school. And you go through and secondary school has different different levels as well, right?
Yeah, yeah.
If you were to just go through their school curriculum, you'll find that it's, and Hamid Tawheed, he went to King Fahd Academy, so he's probably got the textbooks which you can
Yes,
use.
yes.
Maybe
Subhanallah.
that's something he can do, cooperating on birr and taqwa upon.
Yeah, yeah.
But
That
the
is if
only
he,
problem is he may misinterpret some of the stuff
well, he has according to what I've understood from him, he has already made bara from all this. So
there's
subhanallah.
someone in the chat called Rabi al-Madkhali, bro. Like, why are you trolling like that? It's not right of you to do that.
Rabi al-Madkhali.
Change the username, bro.
Oh, right.
Guy should be blocked. Yeah, bro. So that's pretty much.
Yeah, mashallah.
Going through stuff like that.
No, you know what? After all the stuff that we've been through, we realized that we are really lacking some beneficial knowledge here, which we can really put our minds to and do it the proper way. So, alhamdulillah, we came up with this idea. It just didn't happen to occur to a person. It just happened to be part of a discussion, and we ended up starting it bi'idhnillah, and then it eventually started rolling. And mashallah, now we are in our fifth, or I can say fifth week with this.
You know what, bro? This isn't new, right? I don't know why it's being done on a private hangout. Like, we've been going through books on this channel here, on my channel, from time. We've been going through Sharuh. For example, there's a more basic book that Muslims should be going through, and that's called Durus al-Muhimma, the Ammat al-Ummah.
Okay.
Ibn Baz, rahimahullah. We've got another book that was going through about al-adab, al-shari, like Islamic manners and behavior.
Oh, okay.
And what else? Yeah, so basic stuff like that. So I don't know why some people have decided to do private hangouts, and it's up to them anyway.
Could you please repeat the books again? I would like to write them down.
Durus al-Muhimma, Ammat al-Ummah. Yeah.
Okay.
And there's a sharh of this by Abdul Razak al-Badr.
Oh yes, Abdul Razak al-Badr. Okay.
Yeah, he's the son of Abdul Muhsin al-Abbad.
Okay. So this is a sharh by Abdul Razak Badr, but who wrote the actual book?
Ibn Baz.
Oh, Ibn Baz. Okay. Durus al-Muhimma, and what's the other one?
It's called Durus al-Muhimma li'ammat al-Ummah.
Okay, and what's the other one you said?
And the name of the book on adab, I don't remember the name of it actually, but it's all one of my videos. I'll look for it, then I'll tell you, inshallah.
Okay, inshallah.
And these are like downloadable PDFs things. But the reason, yes, Usul al-Thalatha is those basic questions that you'll be asked in the grave. Durus al-Muhimma, it covers not just that, but also the pillars of Islam, the pillars of Iman, how to do wudu, how to do salah, the shurut of the salah, arkan of salah, and also what else? Basic small surahs from the Quran as well.
Oh, mashallah. Okay.
It's called Durus al-Muhimma li'ammat al-Ummah. It's like the important lessons that the general Muslim should know.
All right.
But anyway, we're out of time. Yeah, continue with your Usul al-Thalatha, inshallah. And when you finish that, then you can...
These are good topics to have on. I remember last year when we first started this channel, we used to be reactionary and a whole bunch of other brothers, and we would talk for hours about a specific topic and discussing length, with Hadith and stuff like that.
But the sad thing is there was always one or two people who would constantly divert the topic to Muslim rulers all the time, bro. All the time, bro.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Well, nowadays, now we're gonna be changing all that. I got a little bit stricter now, so definitely these kind of topics, is good to have not only us but others that are watching learn as well, because these are something that will benefit all of us, inshallah.
Inshallah.
So it's good to share it because who knows, you guys might get barakah for that too. Teaching someone something they don't know that they can be implementing in their
Yeah,
daily.
sure. So, Brother Reactionary, could you recommend a good usul book, like usul sunnah book, with a sharh? Because there's so many, and I don't know like which one to actually like which one is really good, like among the ulama and easy to understand, and also very comprehensive, like covers all principles in detail. Which one do you recommend?
To be honest, I wouldn't recommend any of those type of books for people like us or people in the West. Like for beginners in knowledge. I wouldn't really do that.
Oh, really?
They're really more for scholars. Yeah.
Like the usul, like i'tiqad Ahlul Sunnah book works.
Yeah, like Al-Lalaka'i, Al-Barbahari, Imam Ahmad. Yeah, no, these are more for scholars. They're not really written for a lay person like me and you.
Oh, that's strange. I thought that it's a manhaj kind of fundamentals that everybody.
And that's for scholars, bro. That's not for the lay person. Yeah. So, for example, if the book tells you, make hajr of somebody who doesn't wipe his socks or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you go and actually apply that in your real life. You stop talking to your uncle or whoever because he doesn't wipe his socks. That's going to cause problems in life. It's not for me and you. It's for scholars. Yeah. So basically, what he's saying is, if there's a scholar who's saying don't do this, right? Then stay away from those scholars. Anyway, I don't want to get into it, but these books are advanced. They're not. When I say advanced, they're for people who've got the basics of knowledge already, right? Not like me and you.
Okay.
Yeah. They're not for me and you. Like if we're still studying and trying to memorize what usul al-thalatha is, then these books are,
Which book is this?
Yes. Huh?
Which book is this?
Like Al-Barbahari and
okay.
Al-Baghawi. These books, they're not for me and you, bro. They're not.
What about other people who use those books to,
There's something
throw
called
shots at
tadarruj,
each other?
Yeah, it's going in stages. You don't jump to advanced mechanical engineering when you haven't studied basic numeracy and literacy.
I agree.
I mean, you can if you want, bro. Like, what's his name? Musa. If you want to, go ahead.
No, I mean
that's my opinion. That's my opinion, bro.
That was number 2 on our list, but now based on what you're saying, like I'm a bit confused because I thought manhaj is important for even the layman.
What does manhaj mean?
Manhaj is what it comprises of aqaid, suluk, and akhlaq and muamalat, all from the Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. That's all of the Salaf and their understanding of it. This is how I understood from Fawzan's definition.
Yeah, there's 3 things pretty much. There's aqidah, there's suluk, there's ibadah and mu'amalat, right?
Yes.
So there's aqidah, ibadah and mu'amalat. In other words, there's belief, issues of creed or belief, issues of halal and haram, which is the fiqh or ibadah. And the third thing is mu'amalat, your interactions with Allah and interactions with the people or the creation.
Yes.
And this is the part of manhaj that all of these I don't say Salafis, but this, when people are talking about studying the Sunnah, this is what everyone focuses on: mu'amalat with the people, interacting with the people. But they neglect the mu'amalat with Allah or the akhlaq. I told you we're going through a book on this subject about adab and akhlaq. Why not make that your second book?
Yeah. So what was the adab and akhlaq book you said? Is the after Durus al-Muhimma?
Yeah, let me get the name. I've got it here.
So do you recommend Durus al-Muhimma after the Usul Thalatha or this one that you're saying right now?
Yeah. I'd say go for durus. Well, it's up to you. Like, but for me, I would go for durus al-muhimma li'ammat al-ummah.
Yes.
I would go through the book about al-adab.
Okay. All right.
Akhlaq. One step at a time, isn't it? Get through your first book.
Yeah, no worries.
Ahadith, it's called Ahadith al-Akhlaq. That's the name of the book.
Okay, Ahadith al-Akhlaq. And who's the scholar?
You can find it.
And who did the sharh on this?
Abdul Razak al-Badr.
Okay, again. This is Durus al-Muhimma.
It's his own book, to be honest. He wrote it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ahadith
Ahadith
al-Akhlaq.
al-Akhlaq. Yeah.
Okay.
Fantastic book.
And remind us again who Abdul Razak al-Badr is?
He's the son of Abdul Muhsin al-Abbad.
Okay. The great scholar of
Abdul Muhsin
Medina.
al-Abbad is, a scholar of Hadith.
Yeah.
He teaches in the masjid of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu
Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
And his son used to be the Imam, I think, of Masjid Qiblatain, or Masjid Quba, one of them. I don't know if he's still the Imam of that masjid or if he's moved.
I have no clue.
But he's his father and him are probably the most respected, from amongst the most respected scholars. They're known for their piety. They don't get involved in fitna. Allah's blessed them, and there's a lot of benefit to be obtained from them.
Okay. MashaAllah. Inshallah. So I have to run, folks. I have to go for Salatul Isha. So Barakallah Feek, brother reactionary, for sharing this suggestions with us, the books. Inshallah, if we have any opportunity in the future, we'll inshallah interact and benefit from you.
Big up, brother.
And inshallah, and I
was
really wish
expecting you to be attacking me today as usual, but
no, actually, no.
It's
a good point. You know what knowledge does is, when you start really benefiting from beneficial knowledge, then it really steers you in a direction of humility and humbleness. And this is a true Islam. Through knowledge, you will be a tree that's laden with fruits from which people can benefit, and you will be laden with fruits, and you'll be pointing downwards.
Don't use the word laden because of the NSA listening. I think you mean something.
Oh, sorry. Okay, you will be I don't know.
I'm kidding.
Whatever the case. And this is what, I don't just speak for myself here, but I speak for a lot of brothers who the ilm, true beneficial knowledge, really changes.
1 second, Musa, is Jafar still here?
I don't know. Maybe
Jafar. Hello, Jafar.
Yo.
Can you let brother Mujahid on? He's trying to jump on.
Who's Abu Zaid?
Yeah, Mujahid's trying to join. Can you let him on, please?
Do you guys want me to join? You guys want me to let him on?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, let the brother on, man.
Let me get on my laptop real quick.
Okay.
So, brother reactionary, before I depart, I had a question. If we wish that you leverage this channel or brother Jafar to, say, for example, we can go over a sharh of something, or a book or something, would you be interested in doing that, on his channel? This one here?
Yeah, bro. We can do it together, inshallah.
So what do you suggest? If you were to suggest something for us, what would you what would you, if somebody told you to choose the book for us, what would you comes in your mind first off?
دروس المهمة لأعمة الأمة.
Okay. Okay, inshallah.
As well.
That's good, inshallah. So okay, sure. So brother Jafar, if you
that
take
book
a note
on Akhlaq I think is probably the best one.
Okay, the Hadith al-Akhlaq. Okay.
Yeah, there's hadith that ذهب الحسن الخلق بالخير كله. Good character has taken all of the good.
Yes.
I mean, there's so many hadiths in that book about akhlaq that will make you think, wow, subhanAllah, I've really neglected this book.
Yes. This is the stage I personally want to reach. Yeah, this is the stage that I personally believe everybody needs to reach, where you come across the hadith and then you realize where you stand, and then you do a what's that word, like a revision or an evaluation of yourself. Yes, self-evaluation. That's the word. So if you do a self-evaluation through beneficial knowledge of the Quran and the Sunnah, this is the best objective. Inshallah. Okay, so barakallahu feek akhi. أنا أسأل الله أن يوفقنا إلى الخير إن شاء الله. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
أين تذهب أخي؟ أيوة. What's going on? السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام أبو مجاهد. Long time, but how are you أخي?
عليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Hey, back, man.
Just a quick point, brothers. When someone gives you salams,
Yes.
You should give salam with either equal or better in response.
Better,
if
yes.
someone says assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh,
But then you have to add مغفرته at the end.
You don't have to. No.
كلام صحيح والله ما شاء الله لا قوة إلا بالله. We like saying جزاك الله خير man. May Allah bless you all. آمين. Where's Mukhtar?
Mukhtar here. We had a lesson with him earlier. I think he went to sleep early tonight.
Okay, good.
How are you, Akhi?
I'm doing well, Akhi. Alhamdulillah. How are you lot doing? Good.
Alhamdulillah.
So,
praise to Allah.
How come Musa dipped off?
Oh no, he was going before he jumped on anyway. He was going to pray Isha.
Yeah.
Aywa. So he's coming back, yeah?
Inshallah.
Wow, the Sheikh has he's got a book called عشر وصايا للوقاية من الوباء. You know what that means?
Say again?
عشر وصايا للوقاية من الوباء.
What, the 10 ways to protect?
الوقاية من الوباء. Sorry.
The 10 ways to protect against disease.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, not just disease. Al-waba is the what do you call that?
Trials.
Like a plague or
أيوة.
Interesting.
أخي sorry أي شيخ؟
عبد الرزاق البدر.
ابن المحسن العباد.
ابن عبد المحسن العباد.
ما شاء الله. أخي
هذه وصايا نافعة أذكره بها بمناسبة مخاوف.
أخلاقه جميلا والله.
So he said that I put this together to remind or inform people about something that is causing a lot of fear amongst the people today.
Ooh, Aki, have you heard
something known as corona?
Yeah, Aki, have you heard about the vaccine? Apparently they found one today. Something.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can believe people. You can believe them if you want to.
Yeah.
نسأل الله عز وجل أن يرفع عنا وعن المسلمين أينما كانوا كل ضر وبلاء وأن يكشف عنا الشدة والآواء وأن يحفظنا جميعا بما يحفظ به عباده الصالحين إنه ولي ذلك والقادر عليه.
سبحان الله. آمين. ولكن أخي العلم صحيح للفاكسين.
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Why not?
Are you going to take the vaccine if they give it to you?
أخي,
I will take it. I'll take it if other people take it and I see improvement in them. Then yes.
أخي الفاكسين.
I'm not taking no vaccine, bro. I'm not going near that.
أخي, that's crazy صاحب. الفاكسين ليس يدخل في جسدي أبدا إن شاء الله.
Okay, so point 1. ما يقال قبل نزول البلاء. What is said before the, let's say, pandemic arrives, let's say. عن عثمان بن عفان رضي الله عنه قال سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول من قال بسم الله الذي لا يضر مع اسمه شيء في الأرض ولا في السماء وهو السميع العليم 3 مرات لم تصبه فجأة بلاء حتى يصبح ومن قالها حين يصبح 3 مرات لم تصبه فجأة بلاء حتى يمسي. Translate that for us, bro.
So the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that narrated that whoever in the morning recites 3 times and in the evening recites 3 times Bismillah alladhi la yadurru ma'a ismihi shay'un fil ardi wa la fis sama'i wa huwa as-sami'ul 'alim, 3 times each in the morning and the evening, then no harm will come to him from the morning to the evening, and if he recites in the evening, no harm will come to him from the evening until the morning. That's all you have to do is recite it 3 times each, and no harm will touch you. And that's the subhanallah. That's the azim, wallah, that
So the next one he says is al-ikthar. So he's trying to say what you should do before the arrival of such a pandemic, right? So seeking protection from Allah by saying that dua 3 times or that dhikr 3 times. The second thing he says, al-ikthar min qawli la ilaha illa ant subhanaka inni kuntu min al-zalimin. You know this? قال الله عز وجل, Allah said in the Quran, وَذَنُّونِ إِذْ ذَهَبَ مغاضبا فظن ألا أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وذنون إذ ذهب مغاضبا فظن أن لن نقدر عليه فنادى من الظلمات أن لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين فاستجبنا له ونجيناه من الغم وكذلك ننجي المؤمنين. So this verse, Allah said, you know, have you heard of the noon?
Na'am, the whale.
So he says, when the noon is ذهب مغاضبا.
Na'am.
When he went angrily.
Na'am. And he thought,
فظن أن لن نقدر عليه.
And he thought that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would not decree for him something. Na'am.
فنادى في الظلمات. So he called out in the depth of darkness, أن لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. I think, Parkin, we were talking about this the other day, bro. Remember this dua?
Which one? Which dua, sorry?
لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من
الظالمين. Yes.
This is the verse. فاستجبنا له ونجيناه من الغم. So Allah said that He answered this prayer and He rescued him from the gham. You know the translation for the word al-gham?
Is it the despair or the hardship?
Okay, I don't know how to translate al-gham. وَكَذَلِكَ نُنْجِي الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. And Allah said that this is how we rescue the believers. قال الحافظ ابن كثير رحمه الله في تفسيره عند قوله تعالى وكذلك ننجي المؤمنين. So Ibn Kathir explained this part of the verse saying أي إذا كانوا في الشدائد ودعونا منيبين إلينا ولا سيما إذا دعوا بهذا الدعاء في حال البلاء. Okay, so he's saying that this is referring to when the believers are in a state of shada'id. You know, shada'id is a plural of the word shidda. Shidda is difficulty, you could say, or hardship, stress. So Allah is saying that when they're in hardship, they called on us, munibina ilayna. Munibin, it's like them repenting or coming back.
Mm.
منيبين إلينا ولا سيما إذا دعوا بهذا الدعاء في حال البلاء. And especially, so Ibn Kathir said, especially if they pray making this dua during times of trial or testing, being tested.
أيوة. Okay, and somewhere else in the Quran it speaks about Yunus alayhi salam says something وَكَانَ مِنَ الْمُسَبِّحِينَ, you know? Ayah.
Musabbihin, yeah. So, but before you continue, this there's a hadith about this incident as well in the Quran, because at Noon it says here he made dua whilst he was in the belly of a whale, or the whale, al-hut, yeah.
أيوة.
في بطن الحوت لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. You notice the combination here of La ilaha the Tawheed, La ilaha illa ant, and Subhanaka inni kuntu min al-zalimin. And then he mentions that he's been a wrongdoer, he's done something wrong. But he started off with Tawheed.
No, Rashid, I don't know if you guys saw my videos. I did a topic on this subject that we're talking about right now.
Oh yeah.
About the whale and how Allah gave mercy right before he even went into the whale by not letting the whale eat him, but swallow him. So that was his mercy from the beginning. But he gives us the 5 lessons that that you learned in the suburb of Dawa and stuff like that. But it was an interesting story. You guys go back to my videos, you guys can see it there, inshallah.
Aywa. So yeah. So what's the relation, Akhi, between him being from the Musabbihin, yeah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yahdinahu,
and what, sorry?
and Allah saving him?
What's the what?
What's the relation between, why did Allah call him from being from the Musabbihin? And that's one of the, I think Abu Mujahid is saying that this is one of the reasons why Allah rescued him.
No, literally says, and if he hadn't been from the Musabbihin, he wouldn't have been saved.
Yeah. La ilaha illa ant subhanaka inni kuntu min al-zalimin. I'm not sure. I don't want to speak without knowledge. I won't say anything. قال العلامة ابن القيم رحمه الله في الفوائد فما دفعت شدائد الدنيا بمثل التوحيد. سبحان الله. So Ibn al-Qayyim said in his book Al-Fawaid, or the benefits, he says that nothing repels difficulty and hardship like at-Tawheed. ودعوة ذي النون التي ما دعا بها مكروه. Yeah.
Jafar, can you mute up for a minute, please?
Yes, sir.
Was that Isa? Sorry. Okay, I'll continue. So he says here.
No. Yeah, you carry on. No, yeah, there was noise coming from Jafar.
Okay. He said there's nothing that repels hardship and difficulties like at-Tawheed does. Right? ولذلك كان دعاء الكرب بالتوحيد ولذلك كان it says دعاء دعاء. Okay, دعاء الكرب بالتوحيد. Yeah. So therefore, if you're facing al-karb, I don't know the exact translation. Al-karb to me is like difficulty. If you're facing difficulty, you pray you make dua to Allah with tawheed. Okay. وَدَعْوَةُ ذِي النُّونِ, and so when the noon made dua, التي ما دعا بها مكروب إلا فرج الله كربه بالتوحيد. Yeah, he made dua in his state of difficulty with a dua that whoever makes dua with tawheed, Allah will rescue him or remove that difficulty from him. فلا يلقي في الكرب العظام إلا الشرك. فلا يلقي في الكرب الكرب sorry فلا يلقي في الكرب العظام إلا الشرك. So there's nothing that places or throws a person into like the major hardships and difficulties of life except or besides a shirk. ولا ينجي منها إلا التوحيد. And there's nothing that rescues a person from those hardships and difficulties except التوحيد.
صحيح والله.
So the two opposite sides. فهو مفزع الخليقة وملجأها. So it is مفزع الخليقة. فهو مفزع الخليقة وملجأها. You know what ملجأها is?
ملجأها.
From ملجأ. لا منجا ولا ملجأ منك إلا إليك. You know this dua. ملجأ. Okay, so let me see. Let me read the sentence and then come back to it. فهو مفزع الخليقة وملجأها حصنها وغياثها وبالله التوفيق. It's basically. You go.
No, I've not got it, man.
But making dua with tawheed, this is the thing that will save the creation. It's the thing that will protect them. It is the thing that gives them. Ghiyathuha is like the beneficial rain. It gives life. Yeah. And with Allah is the success. So what were the two things we read? The first one was making that dua and remembrance of Allah in the morning and the evening to protect you, right? And the second thing was this dua with tawheed. Yeah, making tawbah with tawheed.
Subhanallah. La ilaha illa.
The thing that places you in difficulty, obviously, is ma kasabat aydin nas, that which the hands of people have earned, right?
Aywa.
So the thing that removes you that difficulty from you is dua to Allah, making tawbah. But
Aywa.
the best thing you can do, what's the greatest thing? The worst thing is shirk, right? The best thing is tawheed. So as was proven by the example of the Prophet who was in the belly of the whale, in the depth of darkness, he made dua to Allah with tawheed, using tawheed. So he said, La ilaha illa. He started with La ilaha illa ant. Subhanaka inni kuntu min al-zalimin.
You also learned the patience of dawah, like you know, because remember he left because they weren't turning towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so he left, right? But he learned the patience that, you know, just like how Rasulullah even until his uncle's deathbed, he didn't become Muslim. But look at the patience that Rasulullah had by giving him dawah throughout those times. So it showed him as well that, you know, patience, you know, will give you the rewards. And when he came back, he started noticing that people were coming towards Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he came back to the shores, back to the city. So there's another lesson as well.
Yeah, man.
من هو هذا الرجل الابن حزم في هذه المكالمة؟ ابن حزم من هو؟
It's Musa, isn't it?
Oh, he's a Muslim. He never left. SubhanAllah. Why has he got Ibn Hazm with a picture of Uthaymeen? رحمهم الله.
Rahmahullah.
آمين. ابن الحزم الظاهري. سبحان الله. سبحان الله. نعم. So, Yaki, what do you think of the vaccine, man? Go on.
Yeah, it says here the third thing, تعود من جهد البلاء. عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يتعوذ من جهد البلاء ودرك الشقاء وسوء القضاء وشماتة الأعداء. So the Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, he said that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to seek refuge in Allah from Jahd al-Bala. I don't know how to translate that. Does anybody know that? Jahd al-Bala. I know al-Bala is.
I don't know. Jahd. Jim Hada.
Yeah.
Jahd. Oh, the strife.
Jahd al-Bala. There's a dua for this. Jahd al-Bala. Bala is being tested, having a trial. Okay. So he seek refuge in Allah from difficult trials.
The struggle.
ودرك الشقاء.
أيوة.
Darak.
Darakat. It's like opposite of darajat.
Yeah. Depth. Yeah, depth. Of shaqa. Shaqa is sadness. I guess depression maybe. Yeah. Sadness. The depths of sadness. وسوء القضاء. سوء القضاء is
evil end. But shaqa I think is distress.
I won't say end, but you know the evil, the decree of, you know, when bad things have been decreed for you.
Oh, but I think
sorry?
I thought qada in this context is talking about maut. Allahu a'lam.
قضي الأمر ماذا بخاتمة سوء القضاء. No. سوء القضاء I think here is more to do with
okay.
You know, when the qadr al-qada, when something has been is due to be executed, but it's not a person be executed, but the matter has to be executed. So you don't want the bad things to come your way.
Subhanallah.
وشماتة الأعداء. And this is where the enemy humiliates you, right? So Allah's Messenger used to make dua to Allah to protect him from these things.
Aywa. Is that the last one?
We should do that as well. We should do that. If the Messenger of Allah, of all people, is making this dua, we are in more need of this dua.
Aywa.
So something to listen back to this show and memorize this dua. So let me read it again. كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يتعوذ من جهد البلاء ودرك الشقاء وسوء القضاء وشماتة الأعداء. وعن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال تعوذوا بالله من جهد البلاء ودرك الشقاء وسوء القضاء وشماتة الأعداء. رواهما البخاري. So both hadiths are in Bukhari.
SubhanAllah.
And the hadiths are almost identical. The first says that the Messenger of Allah used to make this dua, or used to seek refuge in Allah from these things. And the second hadith says that the Messenger of Allah is telling us, he's ordering us to make this, to seek refuge in Allah from these things.
Aywa. SubhanAllah. SubhanAllah.
So what's that got to do with the waba that we're talking about? Why did he mention
الوباء I don't know, man. I don't even know if this waba is. I don't even know if it's a waba. I don't even know if it can be considered waba.
Well, the scholars who are more knowledgeable than you and I, right?
That's true.
He's written this book on the assumption that it is waba, right? Because that's what we're told by medical professionals. So if it is, then what steps do you take as a Muslim? What's your action plan, right? So we have guidance. So what he's done is he's looked into the verses of the Quran and the books of Hadith to see what is said about it. How does a Muslim get guidance on dealing with the situation? So he's found the first Hadith to protect yourself from it, right? The second Hadith was for Allah to rescue you from difficult situations. And the third Hadith now, which is about making dua to Allah, seeking refuge in Him from trials, from sadness and depression, and from I won't say negative things to affect you in life, like su'ul qada. And finally, from the enemy. SubhanAllah, this is serious hadith, because if you think of it, right, imagine that this whole virus thing is a plot from the enemies, right, from the shayateen of the dunya. Imagine that this is all a lie and some sort of plot and plan to destroy the world's economy and make them successful and
Imagine,
rescue the people of riba. Well, yeah, I'm just saying, like, the official story is it's not, but I'm saying, what if people's suspicions about the reality is true? Well, this hadith is actually dealing with that, because it's asking Allah to save you from the humiliation caused on you by your enemy.
Naam. SubhanAllah. Allah. I always thought it said gloating of the enemy. Is that a correct translation? Gloating, like the.
Yeah, it could be. I suppose. Yeah. Okay. Gloating. وعن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. That's the hadith we just read. Well, disappeared from our hangout. It seems.
أيوة.
Let's come back to this. Right. المحافظة على دعاء الخروج من المنزل. Yeah. Another thing you can do to protect yourself is when you're leaving the home, to make sure you never leave off making dua to Allah upon leaving your home.
أيوة.
So from Anas ibn Malik رضي الله عنه أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال إذا خرج الرجل من بيته فقال بسم الله توكلت على الله لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله قال يقال حينئذ هديت وكفيت ووقيت فتتنحى له الشياطين فيقول له شيطان آخر كيف لك برجل قد هدي وكفي ووقي. So the Prophet ﷺ said, if a man, when a man leaves his house, he should say, Bismillah tawakkaltu ala Allah. In the name of Allah, I place my reliance upon Allah. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. There is no, how do you translate la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah?
There is no change and no power except with Allah.
قال يقال, so he said, it is said when he does this, حينئذ هديت, you are guided, وكفيت, and you are, how would you say kufit? You are
Suffice.
from kifaya, like you're fulfilled. You're what?
Suffice.
Sufficed, yeah. Well, wuqit from wiqaya, you're protected. فَتَتَنَحَّى لَهُ الشَّيَاطِينَ. So one of the shaitans will say to the other, كَيْفَ لَكَ بِرَجُلٍ, how are you going to deal with a man who is guided and is sufficed and is protected?
Subhanallah. Wow. هذا في صحيح البخاري.
No, this was Abu Dawood.
أيوة.
He's not mentioned the authenticity of these, but I've seen these authenticated. You can find them in Hisn al-Muslim with a sort of takhrij of the hadith. Where we know. Everyone's gone to sleep and it's bedtime, bro. Like 2 a.m.
Ibrahim, the reason I was laughing is because sometimes you just, you know, it's almost hysterical, you know, like this deen, like what's on offer for such little actions, but the amount of reward and recompense that can come out of it is literally hysterical sometimes. Wallah. فهمت.
Yeah, reactionary. You know that thing that you told me to get, yeah, Fortress of Muslim, that book.
Yeah.
I found out, yeah, there's a app for it. You know that there's an app on the.
Really?
Yeah, man, I found it. You know, Allah is very beneficial, man.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. It's something every Muslim should have in their pocket, you know.
Yeah.
Until they memorize it all.
It's one of the most famous books, man. Small Muslim. Wow. SubhanAllah.
Another thing a person should do is ask Allah for al-afiyah. And you should do this in the day and in the night. Al-afiyah. How do you translate al-afiyah?
Security. Stability.
Safety. Yeah. Safety. I'd say safety. And Abdullah, even because the word is used to mean pardon as well, right? But I say safety. Afallahu ank. Yeah, let's continue. عن عبد الله بن عمر رضي الله عنه قال: لم يكن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يدع هؤلاء الدعوات حين يصبح وحين يمسي. So Abdullah ibn Umar said, may Allah be pleased with them both, said, the Messenger of Allah would never leave off saying these prayers in the day and in the evening. You'd never leave these off. And the dua is, Allahumma inni as'aluka al-afiyah fi dunya wal-akhirah. Allahumma inni as'aluka al-afwa wal-afiyah fi dini wa dunyaya wa ahli wa mali. Allahumma astur awrati wa amin rawati. Allahumma ihfizni من بين يدي ومن خلفي وعن يميني وعن شمالي ومن فوقي وأعوذ بعظمتك أن أغتال من تحتي. You know this dua?
أيوة.
Oh Allah, verily I ask you for al-afiyah in this dunya and in the hereafter. Allahumma inni as'aluka. Oh Allah, I ask you for pardon and safety in my deen, in regards to my deen, my religion, my faith, and my worldly affairs, and with regards to my family and my wealth. Oh Allah, protect, or how do you say istur awrati? Not protect my my aura. It's more guard for me, or preserve for me my awrat, meaning the things that are private for me, my private things, my privacy. Protect my privacy. وآمن روعاتي. and make safe my raw'at. I don't know how to translate raw'at. Allahumma hfidni. Oh Allah, preserve for me, or preserve me from in front of me and from behind me, and from my right and from my left, and from above me, and I seek refuge in your greatness, that I be that I be taken from below. I don't know how to translate Uqtala. Okay, brother. Yeah, see, these are all dua that we're familiar with. So, these are things we should be saying and doing every day and not leaving these off, because the Prophet ﷺ himself never left these.
SubhanAllah.
Yeah, you get some people, they go around every day checking the statistics on the coronavirus. Oh, look, John Hopkins University, they're saying this, they're saying that. I just need to remember Allah.
SubhanAllah. Aywa.
Something about Sham. Do you want to hear it?
Naam.
Kathratul Dua. Okay. What's Kathratul Dua mean?
A lot of dua.
Yeah. So, from عن ابن عمر رضي الله عنهما قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من فتح له منكم باب الدعاء فتحت له أبواب الرحمة وما سئل الله شيئا يعني أحب إليه من أن يسأل العافية. وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إن الدعاء ينفع مما نزل ومما لم ينزل فعليكم عباد الله بالدعاء. Okay. So he said, whoever from you the door of dua has been opened for him, the doors of mercy will also be opened for him. You get that? That means if you've been blessed that Allah has made you of the people who make dua, He's opened the door for your dua, then the door of Allah's mercy will also open for you. And Allah is not asked for anything Allah is not asked for anything that is more beloved to Him than when He is asked for al-afiyah. When He is asked for al-afiyah. So people are asking for safety, or another word for al-afiyah. It's like, some people will ask for sabr, right? Some people will ask for patience. But it's better to ask for Allah, from Allah, for afiyah. It's that you don't have to face the thing that you will have to be patient with.
SubhanAllah.
So, وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إن الدعاء ينفع مما نزل. So verily, الدعاء, it benefits ينفع مما نزل ومما لا. So verily, dua benefits with that which you experience or has come down, and that which doesn't come عبد الرحمن بن عوف أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال إذا سمعتم به بأرض فلا تقدموا عليه وإذا وقع بأرض وأنتم بها فلا تخرجوا فرارا منه.
أيوة.
You know this hadith, right? وعن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال لا يورد الممرض على المصح. Okay. So for the benefit of those listening, that Abdullah ibn Amr, may Allah be pleased with them both, that Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, he left to go to Sham. Right? Where is Sham, or where was Sham?
Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, and Palestine.
Okay. فلما كان بسرغ بلغه. I don't know what بسرغ means. But when he, either he was on the way or he was in a place called Sahw, news came to him that the waba, it's usually translated as the plague, right? The plague had befallen a place. The plague had befallen Sham. فأخبره, so Abd al-Rahman ibn Auf told him that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if you hear of a land having befallen it, what's it called? إذا سمعتم به بأرض فلا تقدموا عليه. In other words, if you hear of the waba befalling a place, then do not proceed to that place. Do not go to that place. وإذا وقع بأرض وأنتم بها فلا تخرجوا فرارا منه. And if it befalls a place and you are in that place currently while it befalls there, or while it falls there, do not leave that place. And from Abi Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, لا يرد الممرض على المصح. That the sick should not visit is visit the right word? But yeah, the sick should not visit the healthy.
Man?
So you see the religion of Islam, all those years ago, put in place the principle of protection, taking precedence over correction. In other words, prevention is better than cure. This principle is an Islamic principle that we had from over 1400 years. By being forbidden from leaving the place of the plague, it means you're not going to transmit it to those people who don't currently have it. If you're containing it in one place.
Aywa.
Yes.
Naam.
It's nearly finished, bro. I'm not going to read it all, but yeah, it's nearly finished.
Al-ulama.
Warathatul Anbiya.
Aywa. That's true. Wallahi. How many scholars do you think we have in the world today? Ulama, I'm saying.
Don't know, bro.
Do you think we have a lot less than we used to?
I really don't know. We may have a lot more, to be honest.
Nah. No.
Yeah, because knowledge is so much more available, accessible, and widely spread now than it has ever been.
ولكن
Especially with the internet, bro.
What about the hadith though? Literacy will increase, but knowledge will decrease. Remember?
إنما يخشى الله من عباده العلماء. You don't know who has that real khashya of Allah. Allah knows. We may not know you and I may not know who all the scholars are, but there may well be a lot more.
Aywa. I'm just saying because the hadith of the end times literally says knowledge will decrease, ulama will die out,
Mm.
and I think we're seeing those times, bro. I don't really hear people speaking how Uthaymeen speaks and Albani speaks and Ibn Baz speaks. I don't find that same conviction in their speech, that same level of deep understanding. I just I don't feel it as much. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, what's the name? Real guy. It's nearly 3 o'clock in the morning. That's probably why, bro. Yeah.
What do you say?
You said you sound tired, bro. Talking to me. I said, yeah,
Aywa.
probably because it's late.
نعم. العلماء يقولون في شرح هذا الحديث أن رجل إن كان يذهب عن القرية في الوباء فيها من غير without running away from it, but doing it out of just a dunyawi سبب, فهذا جيد. Okay, يجوز. We had this.
What is your Jews? Sorry, I didn't hear.
So if the man leaves the place where there's the plague, not fleeing from it, but with a dunyawi reason, then it's okay for him to leave because he's not fleeing away from it.
Well, that's not what the hadith says, bro.
But the hadith says fleeing from it, right? Meaning out of fear. Yeah.
Don't know, man. But the hadith says don't leave the place, bro.
Yeah, but what does it say? What does it say? Out of what? Fleeing, right?
Min. Yeah, fleeing from it.
Firara means to flee.
Okay.
You're running away from it, right?
Yeah.
I think some of the ulama understood this to mean that running away from it. So if you have a reason to leave, it's okay. But if you're just doing it out of being scared, then it's not okay.
I think, I don't think I wouldn't understand it in that way.
Oh, okay. But there's some ulama, I think, who think like that,
If the instruction, look, if people, what's the natural reaction from people going to be if they're in a place and they hear there's a virus? They're going to leave that place, right? They're all going to, like what you see when there's a natural disaster, everyone flees, right?
Yeah.
But if they're all carrying with them a virus, what's going to happen? It's going to spread. No. So people who don't currently have it are going to have it. Because those people who flee that place, they're going to go to another place where there are people. No. That's clearly what I understood from the hadith.
No. Yeah, but like in, for example, I think An-Nawawi said in Sharh Sahih al-Muslim لهذا الحديث that as for leaving it for a need that arises, there is nothing wrong with that. You see? And that's An-Nawawi's opinion on the hadith. He's saying that it's about...
So like, for example, if you're in a city, right, that relies on trade, you're going to need people to be able to go out the city and go and get goods, right? Food and whatever else that they need to get.
Yeah, that's
exactly. It doesn't mean the whole city is going to leave and do that.
Yes, he said the scholars agree that it's permissible to leave for work and other purposes, apart from fleeing from it. The evidence for that is the apparent meaning of the hadith.
Leave for work, does that mean, go into an office? That's not what they were talking about back then, bro. Like, go into Birmingham to work in the council or something, and you live in London.
Even Abdul Bar
they probably mean to go and fetch wood, to go fishing, that I think that's probably what was
But
meant by that.
even Ibn Abdul Barr, yeah, so this indicates that it's permissible to leave at that
Yeah.
time from the place where the plague is occurring for ordinary travel if the aim is not to flee from the plague. It comes down to your niyyah according to these ulama. Even
Yeah, that
Muflih,
means you plan to come back.
yeah, I guess.
So
Ibn
then
Muflih,
you're not leaving the place, then, are you?
but even Ibn Muflih
Would you
said,
call
what
that leaving the place? Let's say you're a cab driver, right? And you take somebody to the airport. Your plan is to come back home once you've dropped them off, isn't it?
yeah,
You don't plan to leave. Like, if you take them to the airport and you don't plan on returning, that's a different matter.
yeah. No, but then that
That's
means,
common
that means,
sense. That
means
should be like easily understood from the hadith.
yeah, so you can leave, right? If you need to leave and then come back.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what the ulama say as well, yeah.
yeah. That's what I understood from that.
Makes sense. Makes sense to me.
But if there's a need to, yeah, I think that's the key thing to
No, I think,
consider.
no, the
They're
ulama
saying
are
if there's
saying,
not a need to.
yeah, they're saying if you're leaving but you're not fleeing from it, you're okay for any other purpose. You get it?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
That's what the ulama are saying, bro. Allahu A'lam, you know?
No, because it
You
depends
don't
what you
take,
mean by leading.
you don't take these
Yeah.
a'immat al-hadith, yeah? Ibn
Look,
Hajr,
no, bro. No, you got a problem. Not you, but I mean, the problem we're facing in this discussion, you and I, is that you're taking something written in Arabic and interpreting it in a way in English. Look, if you're doing i'tikaf, right? You know what i'tikaf is. You know, in Ramadan, you can commit to a certain amount of time in the masjid, right? So, can you leave the masjid?
La.
No. But you can actually go outside the masjid. You know that? You can actually leave the masjid if your intention is to come back in. Huh?
It's surroundings, like it has to be the premises though, right?
Yeah, but you can actually go out of the mosque and come back in. Your intention wasn't to leave and not return. As long as that's the case, you can, if there's a need, come out of the mosque and then come back in. An example, if you need to do ghusl, where are you going to do ghusl? In the masjid? Is a toilet considered the masjid? No, it's not.
Aywa.
I mean, you need to eat dinner. You have to go to the shop, right? Not every masjid has got people preparing food and stuff like that. Yeah. So you can leave and come back in. And in that sense, that's what it's talking about.
Many people, they start to interpret this hadith in the wrong way, though, Akhi, because they start saying this means quarantine, but the ulama don't say that. They're saying that if you need to leave, you can leave, but quarantine is very strict, that nobody can leave. So, you know, it's not really justice towards the hadith.
Lockdown, you mean? Yeah, lockdown. Yeah.
Quarantine, Akhi, that you cannot leave, and then the people bringing the
banning flights and
Exactly.
But again, people who are leaving, they're not planning to come back, bro. That's different.
No, but Akhi, people are literally explaining this hadith in and saying this means quarantining, and then they're starting to basically join the methodology of today when it comes to epidemics with the hadith, and they're saying, look, Islam, this, you know how the kind of approach.
No, but it makes sense to quarantine though.
No, I don't.
You've got a disease that's gonna spread unless you quarantine. The best thing to do is contain it.
I don't even believe it. I don't believe in contagion, actually, to be honest. I just don't agree. I don't believe in it.
You don't believe in what?
I'm quite zahiri when it comes to contagion.
Okay.
I think there's hadiths which indicate that contagion is not really something that we should be concerned about. Now,
Nobody online.
as in,
It's just me, you, and Jaffa.
there's people in the chat, I think.
Shane, what's he saying? We actually sound still today. He says, it is really time for jihad, my brother. It's time for Muslims to migrate to one state. He says, Abu Aisha, where are you? Says real guy. Large up. Okay. Fair enough.
أيوة.
Mufti Abu Layth is live. Maybe everyone's on this channel.
ما هذا؟ Who?
So, is it true what I heard about you, bro?
Wait, أخي, who's live?
Mufti Abu Layth.
Oh my God, really? Astaghfirullah
Shaykh
al-Azim.
al-Islam.
SubhanAllah. Sorry, bro. Yeah, he is live.
Yeah.
I wouldn't advise anyone to listen to him. A'udhu billah. I can't believe people are actually listening to him. SubhanAllah, he's got so many viewers and everything.
Mm.
He's actually getting more likes than dislikes, like by about 10 times. I think. SubhanAllah, that's so shocking. Astaghfirullah al-Azim. That means nifaq is abundant everywhere.
Mm.
That guy's poisonous, wallah. SubhanAllah. Cringy. Ooh, Kareem Abu Zaid is live. One of my favorites.
Okay, mashallah.
You know him, innit? Misri.
I've seen him. I don't think I've ever really listened to him. I don't know.
Okay. He's live now.
Alright.
Man.
Oh, I better jump off then. So you can go
Man.
listen to him, inshallah. And
I guess you guys are out or
yeah, I'm jumping off, bro. Big up.
thanks for joining, guys. Inshallah, we'll discuss more topics next time, inshallah. Alright, strong, guys.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.